Good evening, and welcome to the Contraband, where 6 Shakespeare actors play blades in the dark. I'm Ted Bushman, Gamemaster. Joining me on this tale of volley guns and trolley cars, ball gowns and shakedowns, fair weather friends and final stands are, in order of geographical proximity to the gunshot Bram fired at the end of last session, Graham Ward, Kristin Perkins, Jamie Hansen, Carson Wright, and Ben Isaacs. Welcome, everyone. Introduce yourselves, not your characters. We know your characters, just yourselves, and tell us something that invigorating that happened to you recently. So in that order, which I'm going to put in the chat, even though I misspelled Hansen as Jansen. So Jamie Jansen, you'll have to go third this time. All
it's
right,
your comic
Graham,
book doppelganger.
Yeah.
Start us off, Graham. Tell us who you are. What's
hello.
invigorating you?
Invigorating me is my geographical proximity to the gunshot that Bram fired. No, I'm Graham Ward, he, him. As many of you know, I am the content manager for Ghostlight. I'm also a professional GM, and I got a cool offer. I literally said to my wife Bethany, "Hey, I'd really love to run that new Critical Role D&D adventure for a dedicated home group." And then literally that day, someone was like, "Hey, can we pay you money to run the Critical Role adventure?" And I was like, "Yes!" Hey. So that's giving me life. Yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome. That's what a fantastic thing. That's great. Next in proximity is Kristin Perkins.
That's right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kristin Perkins. I use she, her pronouns. And I have 2 things that sprung to mind. I got my first tattoo on Friday, which I'm excited about.
Let's see it.
It was for my birthday. It's on my arm. Can you see it? Yeah.
Oh, really? I'm surprised it's not like a unclosed circle with a little.
Yeah, well, I should say second tattoo. The first is a brand on my neck.
It's scarification now.
Scarification, yeah.
Makes sense.
Slightly different than a tattoo. And then I beat Ted at Netrunner yesterday. Handily.
Handily, 7 points to 0. Jeez.
Yeah. So that was
bringing it up on stream.
Beautiful.
Oh, that was delightful.
I am Jamie Jansen. Pronouns are he, him, and something that's invigorating me recently. We put in an order for the Steam Deck and somehow actually got an early copy of it, and it's the first time I've ever owned any sort of gaming computer that I can play Steam games on, because just having a MacBook means that I can play 2 games on Steam total.
Wow.
So I was finding every video game is now available, which I've never been able to do before. And so
that's awesome.
It's invigorating me to spend the rest of my week just playing video games.
Ooh.
I think everyone should drop in the chat the video games that they think that Jamie should be playing. I'm gonna do mine.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, I'm Carson Wright. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm just very happy. I had some cookies. I mean, there's nothing quite of note other than I'm really enjoying playing a stupid game called The King's Dilemma with some people, which is a really crazy legacy game that's been a lot of fun. Sorry, Graham.
So mad.
Graham, really wish you were here, but
I was like, I would love to play this game with you all, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we just started playing that with a different group."
I'm sorry, but it's so good. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun, and have enjoyed that.
Hello, my name is Ben Isaacs. I use he, they pronouns. Something invigorating. The sun is out and it's springtime and it's getting warm, and I've been riding my bicycle, just wearing these little shorts through this tiny, conservative Idaho town along the canyon rim of the Snake River, looking like a euphoric maniac.
Yay.
And it's been quite invigorating, Ted. Thank you for your question.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yes. I'm glad you say looking like a euphoric maniac, though as far as I can tell, that seems to be true. You are indeed a euphoric maniac.
Certainly so.
Yeah, yes. Good. Even better than looking like one. Wonderful. Well, I'm so excited to play with all of you tonight. In our previous session, everything went to shit. It was amazing. So we had a bunch of incredible things happen. So the crew went looking for, with Eckert, they went looking for evidence of what the collective's been up to. They found this sheaf of letters with all this information about this code, and it turned out that it was being watched. They sent an explosive arrow through the door. Eckert got blown up almost, C's alive, but the girl threw Aldo out the window, saved him the last minute. It was crazy. Then we had this other sequence where they found the man with many rings' old employer, a man named Kai Luno, who'd been driven to extreme poverty and near destruction because of his relationship with him. Bram encouraged him and actually recruited him to join the crew and join them in helping take down Basil Edivane, as he is called himself. There were a bunch of other interactions as well, mostly preparatory for the event at Queensdown Manor. But the final event of the night involved Varric going to visit the White Stag, who turned out to, in fact, be indisposed. The man with many rings was there instead, meeting with him, and it was tracked by the girl, by Kayafel and Bram, who threw open a skylight and shot the man with many rings with a volley gun. Things are starting. So, our show is brought to you by Ghostlight RPGs, a crew of ambitious smugglers bringing the spirit of live theater to tabletop role-playing games. If our legal offerings please you, we invite you to follow, subscribe, and to take a look at the Ghostlight RPGs Patreon. Our content warning. The Contraband is a crime drama set in a dark and unpleasant city. Episodes will almost certainly contain strong language, brutal violence, and sex. They may also include human trafficking and danger to children, although we will avoid violence towards children being shown. Be advised. So, pull open the bloody floorboards, reach down into the dark, and descend with us into the Contraband. Kayafel, you watch as Bram's volley gun strikes the man with many rings. 6 bullets fired out of a massive beast of a weapon fly through the open skylight. One of the bullets strikes him in the thigh. Another 2 crash into his chest and shoulder. You can see these first 3 bullets dampened by the armor beneath the clothing, injuring him certainly, but not enough to kill him. The 4th bullet, however, strikes him in the neck. You immediately see blood begin to gush out of the wound, spurting from an artery. The man with many rings, Basil Edivane, collapses backward onto the floor. The finely carved wood of his chair shatters underneath him and breaks as he falls onto the marble. His face, carefully made up and so often hidden in an expression of disgust or haughtiness, looks up towards the window, sees Bram and the girl, and grins a vindicated, wild smile. The clock, we know that you know, is complete.
You sure?
Come on, we can talk our way out of this.
Atlantis.
Polite.
The pair of beautiful white doors with their golden doorknobs swing open and slam against the walls. Casimir, Shiloh, and 3 other men in immaculate suits, padded with armor, leap to action. They surround Basil instantaneously. One crouches at his side. Casimir at the front, his hands are gloved. He holds a long pistol in one hand and a sword, naked, in the other. Kayafel, you have incredible reflexes. that give you an advantage in a moment of speed. Right before you act, you notice two more things that have occurred in the wake of this mad moment. You hear a bell ringing, but it's not the deep, sonorous clanging of a church bell. It's the frantic bell of a machine, something striking it repeatedly. This is a fire alarm. You look around in a bit of confusion, but as you look to your right, you see a spark and a spray of rainbow oil from a small nozzle that ignites the roof of the Heron's Roost.
Do I see anyone who might have started a fire here on the top of the roof?
What it looks like is that there is a little box connected to a tube connected into the roof, and it looks like this might be a machine that is designed to create a fire in case of a need for a diversion. It begins to spread very quickly along the tiles as if these specific roof tiles are prepared to ignite more easily. So it begins spreading towards you. It's still a few feet away, but you and Bram are on the roof looking down through the skylights. Varric is below, either sitting or standing. We don't know yet. He hasn't had time to react. But what is your move?
I would like to take my grappling hook, which I used earlier to get Bram to me, and I would like to grapple into the room below me and try and grab at Varric.
Okay. Would you like to get a sense of Varric's reaction to everything that's happened before you do so?
Sure.
So, Varric, you knew that they were behind you in the skylight. You knew that something was happening. You're looking, you're trying not to look up there, trying not to trigger that you have any awareness of what's going on. But the gunshot came through, man with the rings fell down. You watched him fall. What have you done? Have you stepped backwards? The chair collapsed behind you? What's your move?
And you're seeing me like prepare the grapple hook to latch onto the skylight above us.
Have I seen the others enter the room by Casimir?
Yeah, they're in. Yeah. They were so quick after the gunshot. You know they were ready for this.
Yeah. I would pull out a pistol and turn towards the skylight, and looking at Kayafel, kind of aim away from Kayafel and Bram, and sort of fire it off while screaming, "They're after me! They've come to get me! Help me! Protect me!" I'd like to be a switch if at all possible. I can Rook's Gambit to instead of having it be any kind of skirmish or hunt or anything.
Sure. Yeah, so your hope is to use this as a performance to sway Casimir and the others into believing that you're telling the truth.
That I had nothing to do with this. I guess did I have anything to do with this?
That's my big thorn at this point. Just a friendly shot fired through a ceiling. All right, great. Make the shot, buddy. Yeah, let's roll this way.
Yeah. Oh, one of them's a 5.
Okay. All right. So the shot rings out. Let's say it strikes one of the panes of the skylight, and a rain of glass tumbles. One of the collective guys holds up his arm. He's got a gun there. They pushed the table down and are sort of using it as potential cover. Though Bram is still up there with his volley gun and still hasn't yet had a moment to react. It fires off. One of the men from the collective, seeing your shot, seeing the pistol in your hand, and listening to what you've just said, let's say it's Shiloh, who you've met before, leaps across the table, across the broken chair that the man with many rings is on, into the air, and grabs you by the shoulder and slams you down onto the ground very hard. Not enough to give you an injury, but slams you down and has his gun ready to fire up at the girl or at Bram. So the girl now you still have your window of lightning fast opportunity. What's your move?
Right. I mean, seeing all this, I think maybe I will not grapple down to Varric. The girl, like in a fit of confusion, I think, is going to take the vial of explosives that I got when we were investigating the journalist that I caught in my hand and throw it down into the room, try and grab Bram by the shoulder and push him away from the flames that are climbing up and so that we can make an escape here.
Amazing. Sorry, so you're throwing the explosive down into the room?
Yeah, more fire is the solution to the problem. Not less.
Amazing. Do you speak to Bram in this moment? Or do you just grab him and go?
I think I'm just shoving at his shoulder and trying to get him to go. I don't know if my hand can like close around his arm, which is why I'm not dragging him. But,
yeah, Bram is just wordlessly staring down at Varric and allows himself to be pulled away.
Yeah. The fire leaps down to the room. Two of the collective men are able to pull back. One of them, his pant leg catches fire, and he sort of steps back back into the phalanx, sort of patting at himself, trying to end the fire. You see that the man with many rings is being dragged out. We're going to start an 8-part clock called Basil Bleeds Out. So, let me just write that down. So we're going to put 1 tick into Basil Bleeds Out. So you are able to get away from the fire, which is spreading quickly across the roof of the building. You see down below you. You run to the edge and see down below you a crowd forming on the street. They are evacuating the building because they've announced that there's a fire going on inside. There are 100 people looking up at the fire who likely spot your silhouettes.
Let's see. I mean, in terms of available options, if we want to get out of here, we're looking. I mean, we need to descend first. That's the first obstacle.
There are the Heron's Roost is surrounded on 3 sides by other buildings. There's only one street-facing thing, so you could leap onto a different rooftop and try to get off in a different direction potentially. It would require a pretty good leap, but you could prowl to attempt it.
Prowl.
And there's some, or the girl could lead a group action.
Yeah, I could lead a group action.
That sounds great.
And can I get increased effect given that there's still clouds maybe around the building from my...
Yeah, there is this strange mist that is now mixing with the flames and causing a very strange sort of inversion of clouds. So you're potentially able to disappear quite quickly into the fog. Yeah, you would increase effect on this.
Okay. And I think like the vision in my mind is they run to the edge and see a crowd amassing below and then take off into the other direction, running together.
Flames are licking at your feet behind you.
Yeah. I would love to be leaping through flames right now, Ted.
Okay, sorry, yes. Leaping through flames, yes.
Yeah. That's a 6.
Okay.
So then I roll a prowl.
You roll as well. Yeah, and if you fail.
4.
Great. So yeah, failure would mean she would take a stress, but you're okay. So the two of you leap across through rising flames coming off of these tiles and are able to make it onto this rather nice townhouse building next to you with a little bit of a spiky copper guardrail. So it's a little you like get a little bit jabbed as you're climbing up onto the rooftop, but you're able to make it up. Varric, you are down below in this marble room. The painting that you saw earlier, which Basil claimed was an image of the white stag, is now catching fire from the flame that has been thrown down. Shiloh is grabbing you. He's put a cloth over his mouth, and he's dragging you out of the room. And Casimir looks down at you and says, down in the hallway, as there are people rushing by, they drag you into another room, shut the door, lock it, and Casimir says, "Tell me what's going on."
It wasn't me. I had nothing to do with this. He's obsessed with you. Bram, I don't know. He says you kidnapped him. You held him in your house for several days. He wants to kill you.
How's he looking? He looks at the other men who are holding Basil and trying to tend to him, who's coughing and spitting up blood. Casimir looks down at you and says, why would Bram be obsessed with me? What does he want with me?
I don't know. You had him at your house for several days. He said that
He
you
seemed ill at the time.
I don't know. He disappeared from us, and then when he came back, he was angrier, upset with what we were doing.
So he's your friend. Why did you come to us?
I'm my employer. Look. He's just some old drunk that I needed as muscle. All right? You saw what happened. They fired into the same room I was in. She threw a fucking bomb down on top of us. They're not my friends.
All right, what's your role on that, Jamie?
I hope that's a sway in that it's alive, but
Yeah, we'll see for the sake of the audience. We won't say what role it is specifically. Maybe it's a sway. Who knows? So, would you like to push yourself for this role? I know you technically only have one stress left, but I'll let you push yourself for one die here.
yeah, I would love to push myself there. Yeah.
All right.
And that did it. That would be double sixes.
Woo! Is that Varric's
Wow.
first critical on a lie?
I believe it is his first critical on a lie.
Yes, Casimir is quite moved. He looks at, well, not moved, but he seems convinced by you. Yeah, he's crying, he's weeping.
He's an old drunk.
Can I add something to the lie then with that?
Please, yes, yeah, absolutely.
He said something about going after you specifically, Casimir. He remembers where you live. He wants to take you out at your house.
I see. Shiloh, you send 3 men to my house. The best. We've got somewhere else to be. Puts his sword away, and he looks down. He looks at the others with Basil and says, "We need to get him downstairs." And as that happens, Varric, you feel the blood in your head sort of rushing very strangely. And does Varric say anything before he collapses, traumatized? It can be if there's a scene that you want to have happen here in this moment, that's allowed too. I'm just getting us to this moment of the trauma.
I think it's more he kind of sort of reaches out towards Casimir and tries to put his hand on his shoulder and sort of says, "Thank you for," and just sort of knees buckle. And,
Yes. Yep. Down on you feel the beautiful thick carpet of this room, and just like in your last moments are just sort of thinking of the pattern here, the red pattern here that matches the blood of Basil that is dripping onto the carpet off of this table. We'll put another tick into Basil bleeds out.
Meanwhile, Bram is with Kaiafel saying, "Varric, that son of a bitch! I'm gonna find him in his house. I'm gonna kill him."
I think you already tried.
I didn't shoot Varric. I shot that bastard, the fox.
Oh, and here I thought you were just a bad shot, Bram.
No, I changed my mind. I should have shot him, though. Still time for that.
Speaking of time, Ted, how far out are we from the Queenstown Manor?
Yes, that's a good question. You are you are in Night Market, which is in the southeast part of the city. You know the Queenstown Manor is in the southeastern part of Queenstown, which means you are at a minimum. If you were to walk, it would take you 4.5 hours. If you were to get a carriage, you could be there in 45 minutes to an hour, with good traffic. Or a boat could take you in a similar amount of time. So we're just gonna, as the two of you are on this rooftop, you see the heron's roost rising in flames. As you see that the smoke is rather dramatic, but you are able to notice that the fire is clearly a bit superficial and controlled. However, these sallies are coming in on their red painted wagons, coming in and starting to manage the fire a little bit as the crowds stare and scream up at the outside. We're going to start a couple of clocks here in just a minute, representing you and Casimir's attempts to reach Queenstown Manor at the same time, or to see who can get there first. In the meantime, we will jump to another scene. Hix Templeton, you are wearing a gorgeous red suit. It's made with Alkebulani patterns. The fabric is gorgeous. Do you have any? Sorry, did you have a comment on it?
No. Describe the suit, please. I have something in mind.
Yes. Great. It's made of, some of it is made from this very fine reptile skin. And there's other sections of it that are made of different, sort of a more like furrier creature makes up the vest. It's cut much sort of differently than other suits, and gives you a bit more mobility. Kebulani, what you know about them is that they're fine swordsmen and have an ancient practice of sword fighting, but also the suits are built for Kebulani traditional dances, which require a lot more mobility than stiff Duskfall dancing. So it's a great suit for prime time. Also, the shoes are bright blue. Anything else that we need to know about the suit?
No, I think it's a beautiful suit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I have something in mind for just. This is the longest night of the year, the shortest day of the year. What time does it start to get dark on the longest night?
Yeah. Does anyone have a good sense of how that is on the shortest day of the year in our world?
It's like, I don't know. It depends on how far north you are, really.
That's true.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think in Duskfall, it's north enough that it might be around 4:15 p.m. that the last
wonderful
dusk goes away. Yeah. Yeah. So it's currently a little bit past that already. But yeah, tell me.
Great. The reason I ask is that there's some preparation regarding this beautiful suit that you've just described.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the plan, as far as Hix knows, is that we are going to meet up at Queenstown Manor, and we're going to party, celebrate the longest night, as well as hopefully rescue some people from forced captivity. And so the day of this score, Hix will wake up when they're done sleeping, get a good strong cup of black coffee, and then go home to their flat and look at the suit and just sort of be pre-gaming for this party tonight. And will very mindfully go to a corner in their small studio flat and pull back the rug and pull open a floorboard, producing a glass jar, and put the rug back, unscrews the jar, and it appears to have several wheat stalks in it. Hix will set the jar down and just sort of sit and meditate quietly for a period of time, and then take one of the stalks out and just rub it over their tongue like this. Put it back in, close the jar, put it away. And then this, as night is just beginning to fall, and over the next 30 minutes to an hour, Hix will begin to just sort of move their body in a way of like stretching and warming up, just sort of pre-gaming, essentially, getting ready for this party, getting ready to show up in a certain manner, and will take the suit just over their arm and a bottle of the white rum that we've been delivering so much of for the collective. And we'll walk out to the ice, on the ice in the canal nearby, and put the suit down, and we'll smash the bottle of rum onto the suit and strike a match burning it, and scream like primally into the night sky, sort of like cursing the sun vulgarly, and in just sort of the weird underglow of this suit burning, and then go inside quickly, get dressed, and head to Queenstown Manor in a just pretty hyped up, pretty euphoric.
Amazing. So not wearing something else instead?
Wearing something else, Ted. Wearing something
Wow.
else, I know. But it just seemed
love
like
it.
everything
No.
related to the suit preparation went to shit. And I think Hix has some sort of psychic inkling, if not the specifics of it, but that perhaps it's hanging out with all these squares has made us a little more square. And so it feels right to destroy the designer thing and to be true to this night of nights when the darkness is in its greatest power. And so
Ooh,
I
yeah.
would get dressed in my personal best attire, probably the same thing that I wore to the Fillmore Manor party,
yeah.
minus the mask, and just make my way.
Yeah, wonderful. You arrive at Fillmore Manor. You see the vast shape of it. It's this glorious building, about 3-4 times larger than Fillmore Manor was. It's almost ludicrous to imagine a single family living here. It's lit with thousands of candles. In fact, from here, you can't see a single electroplasmic light inside the manor itself. Instead, there's a perimeter of electroplasmic lights, and there are spirit wardens at the borders of these. So you actually pass by several of them in their silver masks on your way through. Though they seem thoroughly uninterested in any guests passing through. They aren't searching anyone. They don't particularly care about anything. A huge onrush of people is around you as you approach the manor. Collective members at the gates are letting people in, checking bags and belongings. A few bluecoats are nearby, looking on with seriousness. And as you stand in line, you hear a mechanical groaning beneath you. It's someone says, "Oh, it's a boat," and others says, "Is that an electroplasmic carriage?" But some of the bluecoats silence them, and one of the collective people says, "Those are the mansion's generators. We got ghost protections on the house, so you'll hear the generators make a ruckus every once in a while." And Hix, as you're walking through, you're stopped by a man who looks to be in his early 50s with gray hair pulled back into a bun, salt and pepper goatee. He's cleaned up a bit since Bram and Aldo found him in the Emperor's court in Dunslow, but Kailuno is wearing a passable suit and looks like he might be able to handle himself on this. And he says, "You're Templeton, right?"
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
"Oh, I'm Kai. I'm Mr. Luno. I met the friend Bram and Aldo."
Oh, wonderful. I hope to see them soon. How are you?
I'm doing all right. They haven't told you who I am.
No.
I am.
Have they? I assume not. No.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
been a
they've-
couple days, but
Oh, has
Brom's
it?
been pretty
Okay.
single-minded.
Yeah.
following
Aldo might
Varric.
have.
Like
what do you think?
whatever y'all want.
I think if Bram did, Aldo probably might have before going in.
Sure.
You might have even spotted him on the Orca's Tooth and thought he was
Okay. Cool.
he was one of those. So there's a I saw you before. We
Hi.
Aldo may have told you I'm the man who this fellow with many rings used to work for.
I see.
Sorry. I just I've been here for a bit. I haven't seen Bram. Have you? Is he with you?
Oh, it's not my day to watch Bram.
See. Yeah.
It's okay.
Well,
They'll turn up. You seem worried. Don't be worried. Come inside. There's a party going on. Just like pat him on the shoulders and make my way stag as hell into this function.
Amazing. I'm gonna make a roll here. So the blue coats stop you as you enter. What's your load? What's your attempted load here?
I have a normal load, which I believe passes for
Light.
Yeah.
a light load.
Yes. So with the security at this party, your smuggler's rig will work if you can pass a check with the people working security. So otherwise, they will notice it. So the blue coats are pretty. They don't seem like super hyper focused on you, but they are checking you. What's your approach for getting through them? Oh no, you've frozen a second.
He's just in shock.
He's just like, what?
Hello.
They're
I'm
searching
back.
me.
Sorry,
Hello.
it's the drugs. It's the wheat.
It's the wheat, yeah. So what's your method for do you talk to the guards? What's your method for trying to slide this whatever you've got past them?
I don't think I'm going to talk to these cops. I'm here to have a good time. I don't know. I'll let them search me if they want.
Sure.
Great. So so you said there's a check involved, yeah?
Yeah, basically you could do you want to do a prowl just to try and make sure that your rig doesn't get seen?
Sure.
Great. Or a finesse, whatever you think would be best.
Great. I have one die in each. So let's just go for it.
Great.
You know what? Can I have a devil's bargain?
Ooh, yes, of course you can have a devil's bargain. Let's see, what would be a good devil's bargain for this interaction? A devil's bargain is that you will, even if you succeed at this, you're going to be delayed a little bit getting into the party. They're going to pull you aside. They're going to talk to you a little bit more.
No.
And lose a little time. Okay, great.
I rolled a 6 without it. No, thank you, devil.
Great. Yeah. They're searching you, but they're just distracted enough that the other guy's talking to him and they're arguing about something. And clearly the one who's searching you is very annoyed with the other one. And by the end, just sort of gives up looking at you just as he's about to uncover this smuggler's rigging that you have hiding your other stuff that you brought with you. And he just goes, all right, fine. All right. Yeah, you're good to go. Whatever.
I will just walk blissfully as if this is exactly what I expected into this party, embracing fate.
Amazing. You enter the manor. It's enormous. As you walk in, a flight of doves is released, and you see them flying up into the rafters of this building, which you worry a little bit about because there's a bunch of doves already on the rafters here, and because of all of the candles and all the smoke, a lot of these doves are just like hacking up, and you see a collective person with a broom sweeping up dead doves.
They didn't think about it.
All that adrenaline going to waste.
Oh my gosh. This reception hall is as vaulted as a cathedral. The sound of guests and music overwhelms you, and 100 perfumes mix in the air. Aldo, you are also at this party. What's your approach? You could attempt to approach as a guest. You could attempt to approach through the service entrance, or you could attempt to breach it like a thief might, just trying to get past the security.
I thought I was working it.
Yeah, you can work it. Yeah, if that was your plan.
Trying to fill in the spot that Eckerd would leave behind.
Oh yes, yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah. So you're actually already inside. You and a few others are working collective, and you're just sort of on security on the main floor. There's a bunch of, like, a couple large reception halls. There's a statue room. There's 2 gardens on the outside. They're ordering you around. There's a woman who says, Emilio, come this way.
Yes, of course.
So we need 2 in the West Conservatory Garden. So you can come in here. You come into this like humid room that's sort of jungly in terms of the fauna that's growing inside it. It's lit with a bunch of candles, and she says, "I know it's there's not many people here now, but there will be many soon, and we just want to make sure there's no one lying down in the plants. They're quite expensive. We don't want anyone loitering.
No,
right?
of course.
Yes. You okay? Great, fantastic. Good. And she heads off on her way. You remember the inspector's goals that they had expressed for this event. They told you that they know that there are going to be a number of young people, specifically young girls, trafficked during this event in some way. They don't know when, they don't know where, they don't know how. So what they have asked of you, in their hopes, is to feel it out, learn as much as you can. But if you make too much noise, the trafficking may not happen, and the girls may be taken away before you have the chance to get them out. So the goal is to both get them away from their captors, if you can, and also apprehend those who are trying to transport them. So this will mean I'm going to start a couple of clocks, which will be, for example, just we'll do Queensdown layout, which will be an 8-part clock to get a sense of the whole manor. And learning the guests, which will allow you to get a sense of who's here, try and get through this whole huge crowd of folks and find your way through. So do the two of you meet up, Hix and Aldo, during the early parts of this party?
Had we planned to? Hix, what do you think?
Well, I don't think I'd start out looking for Aldo. I think I'd like to go dancing.
Great.
Actually.
Right.
So
Amazing.
Perhaps we meet up later, but I'd like to know where the most fun dancing is in the place.
All right, great. Let's make a study roll or a survey or whatever you think is appropriate.
May I make a consort roll, considering this is
Absolutely.
because the sort of thing I'm looking for the room in which I feel there is someone, just the sort of people that are like me, if possible. The free spirits, if there is such a thing at this party.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Great. May I have a devil's bargain, please?
Certainly.
As I consort with fate.
Yes. So in terms of a devil's bargain, let's say that in doing this, you will make both. You will, in consorting and dancing, you will draw the attention of two people, a friend and an enemy.
Wonderful. That's my intention, is to draw attention. So
Perfect. Great.
wonderful. I rolled a 5.
Okay. So you find yourself on the dance floor. There are multiple areas for dancing in this house. I'm actually going to drop in our chat a map of the first floor of Queensdown Manor, which, Carson, if you would like, you can show on our screen if you have that still set up. If not, no worries at all. But this will give us a little sense of what things look like on this floor. Let me see if this is the correct map now that I'm dropping it in. Yes, so Aldo is currently in the west garden on this map. There's an eastern garden, which is, both of these are glass-ceilinged conservatories. There's the statue room, the tapestry room. The reception hall has a very active dance floor and dance scene that's going on. But there, with the biggest band, 18 pieces. But there's also a smaller dance happening in the north end of the East Banquet Hall. So you see there's all these big long tables, but maybe at this point in the night, a couple of those tables aren't set up yet. So there'll be a point where the tables get set up. But in the meantime, people are dancing. So with that 5, I'm going to put 1 tick into learning the guests, 1 tick into Queensdown layout, and I'm also going to put 1 tick into a clock called, let's see, Bluecoat's Suspicious.
Of course they're going to be suspicious. I'm dancing wild and free in here.
You look great.
They
Gotta
can't.
stop
They
this
can't.
behavior.
They can't.
Right,
have
that's
that.
an 8-part. Blue coat suspicious.
Yes. Bluecoat's Suspicious is also an 8. Yeah.
Mhm.
Footloose dancing isn't illegal.
Yes.
Yeah. Learning the guess is not an 8-part. Learning the guess is a 1 out of no, sorry. Learning the guess is 1 out of 8. Queen's Down layout is 1 out of 6.
Cool.
So, just one sec, Aldo. So in terms of people, you interact with some folks who are very excited. You get the sense that this party is bumping. There's a lot of people who are moving and enjoying the dancing, and it's pretty raucous actually at this point. People are excited. People are sloshing drinks over you. There's a huge party atmosphere going on, and you see all of the servants who are working this event are just like absolutely slammed. Like servers walk out with wine glasses practically falling off, but before they even can tumble, 6 hands have reached out and grabbed all the glasses and are just like knocking these things out. You aren't able to at this point to really distinguish like, oh, who are the interesting groups of people. At this point it's just a rush of people and adrenaline and the smells of perfumes and sweat and all of these realities just sort of converging on you, and you feel the euphoria and horror of what it means to be human.
Oh God, I love it. Oh, stop talking dirty.
So, did you have something that you want to do, Aldo?
I think pretty much as soon as that lady's like, okay, you've got it, and she leaves, Aldo just leaves. And
Great.
just to kind of like patrol the areas with the intention of figuring out the layout as much as possible. He probably did this even
Great.
before Hix arrived.
Great.
I imagine she's like, all right, get in here. And Aldo's like, great. And goes for a walk, probably through different rooms, looking somewhat official, seeing if he recognizes anyone, but mostly to see like where stuff is, where windows are, and where doors are, where choke points are.
Yeah.
No
great.
reason.
Yeah. What role? Do you think would be
I think
appropriate?
as I go around, I think a study roll would make sense for this.
Yeah, that's great.
To study the areas.
I'm in.
It's 2.
Okay. You find yourself walking through these halls, and there are just so many people moving so desperately. You can't even see the floor. You can barely see the walls. At one point you're like, wait, am I turned around? Am I in the same building? There's a couple of rooms where you see that the servants are going through. You're able to see a little bit of that, but you really don't get a strong sense of the location, just because crowds are pouring into the space and people are trying to grab you and say, hey, could you help us out here? And you're like, there's a point where you're like given a tray full of drinks and you know asked to hand them out. Maybe I don't know if you dumped them to a bush or what, but we're going to move. Let's see. We're going to move a clock. There's a clock called Candlelight. This is a 6-part clock that starts full. So what's going to happen is, as the night progresses, this clock is going to move down until it's at 0, until the place is completely pitch black dark. We're going to have a short clock representing the darkness, and then it's going to come back up. So as it gets lower, the lights in Queensdown Manor are going to be lowering, as in the celebration of the Feast of Impenetrable Darkness. So as you are doing this, you lose a little bit of time with, we're going to put Candlelight down to 4 out of 6. The time is waning. This is already moving fast. And Aldo, you notice that Bram and Kayafel and Varric are not here. So let's jump back to Bram and Kayafel. How are you trying to get up to Queensdown Manor? I'm going to start 2 racing clocks. This is clock evening, guys. So we're going to do
Clock evening.
clock evening. We're going to start a clock called Casimir Arrives. And we're going to call another called The 2 Arrive. So this is registering the 2 of you making your way.
Yeah.
I think it's bloody clear we're not going to make it there in time unless we take a coach.
I mean, I'm fine taking a coach if that's what we need to do. And she'll leap down onto the street and, maybe leave a rope there for Bram to make his way down. And she'll start trying to flag. Is that how it works in Duskwall?
Sure.
As Bram's kind of like huffing and coming down the rope. Have you got our disguises ready?
Yes, they're in my bag, and she'll pull out the 2 disguises that she's made for her and Bram.
What do they look like?
Perhaps we better get those on now.
Right. Ducking into an alley, they look like she did her reconnaissance. They look like the uniform that Aldo also is wearing.
Yes.
And Kayafels has the little embroidery signifying that she'll have a candle snuffer and be in charge of snuffing the candles out.
Sorry, I need to know this. Am I in servant's garbs? Because that is not what I thought I was doing.
Maybe I don't know.
I felt like I was a guard patrol, is what Eckerd said. It was watching entrances.
Yeah, that's correct. The collective has a pretty unified look, so you're wearing the same colors and insignia as the servant crew, but you are wearing a little bit of armor. You're a little bit better prepped.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a different. You don't look like a servant. Don't be mad.
Yes. No, it's not that. I just want to understand what my job is at the party. What I'm supposed to.
You are totally a guard. That's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
You were.
We'll leave it.
Peace.
We'll leave it to Varric to be mad that he looks like a servant.
Right.
Yeah, so Bram will start getting on his, which I think like the plan was that I would look like some kind of like someone who'd be loading things in, maybe to the kitchens.
Yeah.
And immediately start like stuffing gear into it because I'm at a heavy load.
Mm-hmm.
The volley gun goes in.
Dude, duffel bag. Amazing. All right, so let's make a roll for you trying to get a carriage that can bring you up there.
Yeah. What role would that be?
Well, what's the method by which you are trying to get them? Is it trying to locate a place where they might stop in this neighborhood? Is it trying to just flag down a car as they pass? Or are you trying to stop a carriage that's passing, throw its driver out of the front seat?
Oh, golly, gosh.
Why don't we start with a hunt? And Bram will hunt around for a location where there might be some coaches ready for us.
That'd be great.
Great.
That's a 6.
Okay, so you are able to rather soon find just nearby. There's a cabbie sitting smoking, sitting on a stoop, as a couple of 4 goats who pull this carriage are sort of shuffling and sniffing at the air.
Goats, oi! We've got to get down to Queenstown Manor. You can take us, yeah?
What?
So it's my first job. Me and my friend, we need to get there. And we need to get there fast. I was really hoping you might be able to help us.
Where again? Where it is?
Queenstown Manor.
Yeah. Some Wrightstown, yeah? This is far.
There's a coin in it for you. I don't want to lose my job, so please.
Yeah, what kind of roll are you making on that?
I guess that's a consort.
Does everyone in Duskfall have to make action rolls to get a cab?
This guy doesn't seem to want to. He's drinking on the side of the road.
Bram, you want to help me with this consort?
I can't help you.
He has no stress left.
Yo, you got it. Just roll them. Just throw them. You got it.
You say roll them like there's multiple die about to happen. That's a 2.
He's drunk.
He says, I'm out for the night. I'm out. Sorry.
Listen, you fucking poppycock. You're going to take us. You're going to take us now. And I will command him, if we're gonna take it to that, I'll grab him by the scruff, like throw him into the driver's seat and say, "Get your fucking goats in gear." That's a 5.
Okay, great. With the failure and the 5, we're gonna put one. We're gonna put 2 out of 6 into Casimir arrives, and we're gonna put 1 out of 6 into you guys. The 2 of you arrive. So you get that this guy goes, okay, all right, okay, and he gets into the cabin and says, "Oi, oi, oi," and smacks at the goats, who begin to sort of and hurry along this bridge.
You are on the couch with fucking Thor.
Ted, I don't know what the rules on this might be, but as we're trundling along, I'd like to pull out the mirror that Lyron is encased in, or trapped in, that he is in.
Yeah.
And yeah. I'd like to like take it out as if maybe like I'm fixing my makeup, and whisper quietly enough that the driver maybe can't hear. Lyron, are you there?
Yes. Are you all right?
We're trying to get to Queenstown Manor. We're trying to save the children, but there's a man. He's on our trail. Is there any way that you could distract him, trip him up, something?
I can try. And his eyes flip back in his ghostly visage, and you feel the mirror in your grasp become so cold you can't hold it anymore. It tumbles
Clatters on the ground
onto the floor of the carriage, and you see sort of a fog overcoming Lyron's face, and you feel nearby 2 ghosts that as you pass through an alleyway, they both look up in your direction and begin to sort of snake out of the alleyway and down. As you cross a bridge, you see them going down to the river, and at some distance you see a boat with electroplasmic lights that these ghosts make their way towards. So yeah, you were able to do that. We're going to take 1 tick out of Casimir arrives. So, let's see. I'm gonna just do a fortune roll here. Okay, that's a good one. And then, all right. So, as you're sitting here, this guy is moving through moving up through 6 towers. There's some traffic that appears as it looks like an old building has crumbled in the middle of a main road. So the carriage turns around this main road, and there's a bunch of carriages trapped here, and he goes, oh no, and you see that this collapse has just happened. So we're going to put 2 ticks into Casimir arrives, putting him at 3 out of 6, and you are stopped temporarily. Your guy is trying to back out, but there's another carriage behind you with a bunch of people in it. Sort of there's some women who look like they might be going to Queenstown Manor, crying out, "Oh, we're already late, and they're already drunk too.
I think we leap out of the carriage.
All right, you lead.
Is there planes, trains, and automobiles? Is there a canal nearby?
There is an electroplasmic tram above you.
Oh.
There's a tram station. There's a bunch of people in line trying to get up the stairs into the tram station who are blocked by this same traffic. But there is also a canal. It's a little bit more distance. But if you could get your way through the crowd, you might be able to get on a tram in reasonable time.
Train or boat, Bram? Quick.
Train.
And I don't want to take the entrance that is blocked. I want to climb up like a pylon or something,
sure,
if at all possible.
Yeah, let's get your prowl on that.
Should we do a group prowl?
Yeah,
try and get you up here, I think.
4 from me.
4 from me.
Okay, so yeah, that's a partial success, meaning we're going to put 1 tick into Casimir arrives, putting him at 4 out of 6. But you are able to get up on top of you're able to climb up basically the girders of this train station. The two of you climb past a bunch of people. Bram is climbing after you, sort of following very carefully in your steps. And there's one person blocking your way who you just shove out of the way and leap over over the turnstile just as the train is hurtling into the station, and the doors fling open, and you run inside, get on the train, and you are bolting towards Brightstone. You see it through the windows, coming towards you. You are getting closer. I'm going to put 2 ticks in that, so you're now at 3 out of 6, and Casimir is at 4 out of 6. You guys are making your way towards Queensdown. Meanwhile, back at Queensdown Manor, Hix and Aldo, what are you up to?
I think I'd take a short break from dancing and have a look around the place, just getting some air, cooling off. I'm extremely
Flushed.
Ripping, you might say.
Sure.
But I'm going to just have a look around and listen to the wind out on the balconies and look at the flowers and just sort of get a sense of the perimeter. The floor plan is really what the floor plan clock is really what I'm after, but I'm going to roll hunt for that.
Amazing. It's great.
It's 3 3s.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So that seems quite psychedelic in a non-productive sense.
Yeah. So we're gonna give you just 1 tick because you're just learning about the place. Even though you're tripping, you can learn something. So certainly. You are sort of wandering around, getting lost in the scope of all of this, and you will as you are. Oh, let me look at this just a second. As you're sitting there, you see someone come up and approach you. I'm gonna wait a second on what they say. In the meantime, what are you up to, Carson?
I wanted to find Hix.
Okay. So the person who shows up at your side, Hix, is a prim-looking businessman, thick glasses, but handsome and well put together. He looks and says, "Is that Chadwick Templeton?"
Hello.
It is so good to see you.
Sorry, I don't remember your name at all.
It's Ned. We were in class together.
Oh, Ned from class.
Yes.
Ned, truly, I don't remember you. What can I do for you tonight, Ned?
I'm just here having a drink. I'm having a good time. It's just good to see you. Tell me, how is Mara Hardenbrook?
Mara, she and I we haven't spoken in many years. As a matter of fact, we had a great falling out.
Is that true? Yeah. No wonder
it's true.
I haven't
it's
seen
really better
of
off. She was sort of a toxic person. She was putting a lot of expectations on me that weren't really in line with my value set personally. And she couldn't really see any other way of being. And so it just felt like I needed to cut this person out of my life. And so I've been living in Silk Shore, doing basically what pleases me. But what about you, Ned? What are you up to?
Well, I'm surprised. But you were she's so connected. So certainly you would want to maintain the relationship.
No. See, she was doing me harm in my life. She was putting, she wanted things from me that I didn't want for myself. And as an adult person, it just felt better to leave that relationship behind. And I've really been very happy ever since I did that.
I see. Well, I'm very sorry to have bothered you.
Oh, no bother, Ned.
Yes. Great.
I hope you enjoyed the party.
Turns around and smacks into Aldo. Oh, I'm very sorry.
It is nothing. Please enjoy the party.
You can take this, can't you? And he lets
No.
the glass go in front
And
of
I
you.
let it hit the ground.
He goes, "Oh my dear, okay."
It's quite
Yes,
all right. We'll have somebody take care of
Oh, Ned, you're drunk. Go sit down.
it.
Don't mind
And he
Ned.
heads
He's
off.
had a few to drink.
Do
Aldo,
know-
you look good.
you look like you're having fun tonight. Are you having fun tonight?
Yeah, that was my intention.
Like
Or part of my intention.
I see. I got it.
Mhm.
And this you met this man?
Who?
Ned? This Ned points at the glass on the ground.
Oh, that. I don't know, just someone from a long time ago. I don't even remember him actually. He recognized me.
And the use
Feels
to
like
us
several
tonight?
lifetimes ago, really.
Well, Hix, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, but we have a problem.
What?
They're not here. Bram, Varric, the girl.
Although we work with unreliable people. This is more of a personal thing. That's kind of what I'm approaching this as, that, you know, this is a moral crusade sort of outside the purview of our smuggling business. And so, you know, I'm not surprised that some of them didn't show up.
Are you serious? Of course. They said they would be here. This is personal for them. This is personal for them and for me.
Me too.
The fact that they are not here, though, is concerning to me. And it's getting darker, and the night is going on. And if you ask me, whatever shit is going on here tonight is going to happen in the middle of the dark.
No doubt. Although, I don't really want to discuss the interpersonal challenges in the crew anymore, because it is a waste of our time. You and me and Mr. Luno, who I met on my way in, and Jean-Pierre have showed up because we give a shit enough to make this our number one priority tonight. And so I intend to see the score through. How about you?
Yes, of course.
Then let's quit worrying about them. They'll show when they show, if they show, and if not, it doesn't matter, because we are going to accomplish our intention tonight, Aldo.
Okay.
Have some fun. I'm gonna waiter will be walking by, I'll grab a drink and I'll say, drink this. You look too serious. You should take that uniform off. It's not doing you any good.
Am I wearing anything underneath?
You'll find
Your
something.
call, bro.
Go looking around. It's a very big house. Perhaps you'll find something worthwhile if you just put yourself in the stream of fate and see where it takes you.
Aldo kind of just turns around with the face of okay, so I'm doing this alone, sort of not particularly, but oh my gosh. And he's gonna stride back into the party and go looking for again, kind of taking another pass. I'd like to try to get up some of the stairs if people are going there, just to kind of glance and get a view.
I will aid.
Are you coming with me? You're gonna keep talking to me about joining the flow?
I'll just walk with you.
Great.
No, I think I'll let you go your way since you're Mr. Stick in the Mud about this. And I will have a look around myself functionally in order to aid you.
Right. That's great.
Great.
Okay.
That I'll use one of my special
Your
abilities,
pre-aids.
Foresight, to aid you without stress, since
Okay.
I'm not really in it to get stressed tonight, I guess.
Well, thank you. That's very, very good. I will make another study roll. Okay, a 5.
Okay, great. You we're gonna put 2 more. So with the rolls that we just made before, I'm putting 2 more ticks into Blue Coat's Suspicious, And the other one I'm adding in is a clock called, there's a lot of clocks here, sorry guys, called Keeping Your Cover. This one starts at 6 and is going to get reduced. So we're starting at 6 and we've just lost 1. As you pass by, you see Ned going, I just saw Chadwick Templeton, one of Marhard Brook's best students. Do you ever seen him? Whoops, I accidentally stopped recording. I'm amazing at this. So that's down to 5 out of 6. And yes, but the night continues. We have not lost any more candlelight yet. You put 2 more ticks, and as you're climbing up the stairs, Aldo, you run into a man with a goatee and long hair and a bun, Kai Luna, who talks to you and says, sort of shares information with you. And he, so we're gonna put. You're looking for layout, right?
Looking for layout. If I happen to see anybody of note, that's great too.
Yeah.
But...
With Luno's help, we're going to put 3 into layout and 1 into learning the guests. So Luno's going to point things out to you. He's going to say, so it looks like the service kitchens are here, and here. And they're connected into in the interim spaces. You notice in between the statue room and tapestry room and the banquets, you see those 3 little rooms there. Those are all indicators of staff rooms that are being used. They have stairs that go down into the basements. And he says, there's a lot moving through those rooms. I don't know. I think there might be more to this building than we're seeing. You notice I'm seeing there's gaps. If you walk through the north to the south rooms, the walls are wider than they should be. Even for pillars holding up this 4-story building, they're a little wider. 4 or 5 feet. It's more than you need. Just saying.
That's where?
So it's in the gaps between most of the major rooms. The walls are very thick.
I see.
Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
what you're getting the sense of.
Yes, I am.
So, yeah, as you continue looking around at this, you're getting really close to having your full layout of Queenstown. We're going to jump back again to the 2 folks on the tram. So the girl and Bram, you've moved a little bit further on. We're going to put you get off the tram, you see a bunch of manors in the distance, and there's a good mile or so in between you and Queenstown. So you're getting close, but there's a lot of foot traffic. There's a lot of folk in between. You can try to grab a carriage. There's a canal that goes underneath. You could try and get a boat. What's your plan?
We got a mile to go. None of those options sound particularly fast, but what do we got to do? I mean,
there's also the rooftops in between this place and the manor.
I mean, you could guy that wants to go on the roof, right?
I mean, of course I do, but
gonna daredevil it.
I mean, will that really be faster than a boat?
The boat could be faster. You do see that there's a lot of stuff going on in the canal, so there's like boats sort of jam-packed of people not only going places like Queenstown, but also just doing their own festival. Like the whole city is actually laid out below you, and it's just covered in candles. It's this really kind of breathtaking sight, even if it means that there are tons of crowds in between you and the place. So the rooftop is nice because it's not so crowded.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
let's tighten the roof.
And I'll find a wall with sort of rough and crumbling brick, something a little easier to scamper up. And then I will scamper and Bram can follow.
Is it prowl?
Okay. Another prowl. You don't need to, I guess we'll do it as another group action. That seems fair.
6.
3.
Oh no. So we'll say that that the girl we'll give you a stress for that, but Bram is gonna have turned out to be the group leader on this action.
Maybe we get to a section where because of his height, Bram has to deadlift her up onto
totally.
gambrel or something.
Yeah. I love it. So the two of you end up sort of racing across these rooftops. Some of them are like iron roofs that are clanging underneath of you. Some of them are tile that are very soft and quiet. There's a couple like rooftop gardens, and there's a couple places where you're like ziplining and grappling across, and it becomes this like pretty nice rhythm of the two of you getting across this place together. And eventually you reach the point where you can lower yourself down and get to the service entrance on the far west side of Queensdown Manor. So we're going to fill that clock as well as the Casimir arrives clock. Whether or not you are, there's a slight discrepancy in time, we will leave ambiguous for the sake of narrative enjoyment. So you do not see their boat arriving or where it gets in, but you assume that it has made it here. You come to the service entrance. It's down by the side. It's on this lower sort of basement level. And as you arrive, you see it's wide open. There's several docked boats. There's people like there's shipments being received. There's people with carts and dollies like shouting at each other like, I'm trying to get this through. This needs to be in here right now. You know, and everyone is just freaking out. You see servers dressed in the simple black and white of the collective, hauling crates of wine and foodstuffs from the kitchen. And you get a little bit of speechifying from some of the people running this event as someone's like, yes, I know you all want to take a drink now and just lie down. You'll have it during the half hour of darkness. Everyone will be back down here. There will be no one on the floor. Do you understand me? Who's going to be on the floor? Who's going to be on the floor? Raise your hand. A couple people raise their hand and say, fuck you. You weren't listening. You're not on the floor. You're back down here. Goodness fucking gracious. So you are
Bram will
your
just
way.
like slip into the group with Alec Baldwin there giving his speech. And I'll lean over to the girl and say, see you inside.
See you there. And the girl will book it try to book it into the manor itself.
Yeah. You're getting in, and a man grabs hold of you and says, "Hey there, dear. Yoshiko, I'm one of the captains for service this evening. Where are you headed?"
I have to go take out the lights, and she'll hold up her snuffer. I mean, it's certainly not a festival if the lights don't go out, and I'm so sorry I'm a little late. And she's just gonna try and push past.
Yeah. And he says, yeah, you're supposed to be out there. What have you been doing? Go.
So sorry. And she'll run in.
Yep. So you head up into the floor. It's super busy. There's candles everywhere. You're starting to put them out. And with that 5, we're going to say that you are approached after a moment. You're sort of sweaty, pulling your hair back. You've just made it inside. You're looking around, and you're approached by a man with a handlebar mustache. Jamie, would you like to introduce us?
Yes.
I know you're frozen a little bit. Perfect timing.
Oh no.
Wait, we got you. I think we got you.
Yeah, you're approached a man in his sort of mid 40s, handlebar mustache. He's starting to lose a bit at the top, and he's growing out the hair at the back. He is also dressed as a servant, and he kind of comes up to you as you're I imagine you're running up towards the main floor.
Yeah. Snuffer in
Just
hand.
Yeah, and he says, you and your lot, I don't understand what you're doing, but half of you haven't even been here all night, and the rest of you are standing around doing dick all.
I'm sorry, I'm just, you mean the snuffing job? I'm sorry, I'm planning on taking out the candles right.
They are going to move these children. We're going to lose them, and this whole thing will have been for nothing. You don't all get it together.
I'm going to grab this man by his arm and try and take him into like a really dark, secluded corner, and I'm brandishing this candle snuffer, this brass long instrument, sort of at his throat, trying to like push him back.
Yep. Cool.
Great. So yeah, you don't struggle. You let her push you in the corner.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I am talking about the silence and what Silas Ward asked you all to do.
You're an inspector. You're with the inspector. You're with Silas.
Yes, I'm with Silas, and I told him not to trust a bunch of criminals with a job like this. It seems I was right. What have you been doing?
Look, we're here now. We got held up.
It's very convenient.
What do we need to do? Where are the girls? Do you know anything?
Do I know anything else, Ted?
Great question. We will return after our break with what Alistair knows. So, thank you all for being with us this long. We will return very soon after a short break. we return to Queensdown Manor. The girl, KFL, has just been accosted by a man with a handlebar mustache and longer hair, an inspector, or a man who claims to be an inspector, who has introduced himself as...
Alistair and Sirley.
Yes, he's introduced himself to the girl, and he has some information to share with her. Jamie, if you'd like to share the information, or if you'd prefer me to share the information, however you want it to be.
Yeah, I can share it. Well, unlike your lot, I haven't been wasting my time around here. I've been watching the guests. I'm pretty sure that I've identified at least a few people who might be targets or being trafficked. Is there anywhere I can take KFL to point out these people?
Yeah. There's like a couple upper areas in the south parts of the banquet halls. Just like people are sitting up there drinking. It looks like the stone edge of what might be like an indoor fountain. Maybe there is an indoor fountain. So people are sitting on the edge of it. You can stand up on it and get a little bit of a vantage point. And Varric's pointing out these groups to you, or not Varric. Alistair is pointing out these groups to you. Varric! Yeah.
Over there, you should see the cast of the Duskfall Ballet. Got an escort of some gentlemen there. I think there might be trouble. There's some poorer girls from Char Hollow and Coleridge over in that direction. They were gifted tickets to this event by an unknown person. And over there, you might be able to see an order of nuns of the old faith wearing their traditional gear.
The nuns are being trafficked?
I don't know. That's for you to find out, isn't it?
In here, I thought you were the inspector.
The garb of the nuns of the old faith is very covering, so you're not able to see the faces of the people underneath them.
Look, I know the names of the rest of your crew. You seem to be the only one who's managed to keep a sufficiently low profile, and I assume you're quite good at that. So why don't you find out more, as you stand out a little less than some of us.
All right. And I'd like to make my way over to the nuns. Are there people around the nuns? Or is it just some nuns?
There are. So the Feast of Impenetrable Darkness does come from a religious ceremony, and obviously this is a very secular event. But there are a number of people who do appear to be a mix of paying respect and seriously taking this sort of sacred part of this tradition. As the lights begin to dim around you, we're going to go down to 3 out of 6 on candlelight. Some of them people are talking with the nuns and maybe getting some prayers spoken over them, and then there's other people who are heckling the nuns and appear to be trying to get them to dance or just otherwise being assholes to them.
Mm-hmm. I'll go up to the closest sister and say, sister, I know I'm working, but could I just have your ear for a moment, please?
Yes, my daughter, certainly, come closer. And she holds out a hand from beneath her garb.
I'll take it. My brother, he's not well. He recently got in, a bit of a scuffle, and I worry for his soul, sister. I wonder if you could pray for him.
I will pray. I will pray in the name of the sorrowing father. And she puts her wrinkled hand over your other hand and begins to recite one of the prayers.
And I wonder, as I'm being pulled into the group, if I might, maybe do a study, I guess, or
yeah, sure,
or a survey. Can I do a survey
I think
to
reasonable, yeah.
assess other nuns, and maybe as I do it, just sort of sisters, please, my brother, my poor brother. Okay. That's a 2.
Oh,
Oh gosh. So we're gonna move the clock of the guests one forward, and we're also gonna give you another couple ticks for the help of your friend Alistair. But you're walking through them, but the problem is like the sisters are all rather busy, and you find yourself trying to get in closer, but the sisters are instead of, they're not pushing you away, but instead a few sisters from the outside will sort of come around you and support you rather than get to the center of the circle. You can't tell if they're deliberately trying to obfuscate you from the center of the circle, or this is just completely coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Aldo?
No, when you feel like you're done with this, I have a thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think with my failure, I'll sort of move away, maybe move back to Alistair and whisper through the side of my mouth as I'm heading out to maybe go snuff some candles, trying to maintain a low profile. I can't tell about the nuns, I'm sorry.
It's done. He's gonna just turn and start following the Duskfall ballet, and you can hear a bit of a like metallic creaking as he walks.
Ooh.
Went.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna try and analyze. So you get close to the Duskfall ballet. Each member of the Duskfall ballet is escorted by an elderly gentleman. All of them look very boring, and the dance of the Duskfall ballet are absolutely gorgeous. They're all quite beautiful, very like austere, tall features. The prima ballerina, who's just recently been cast from Tycheros, is at the head, and she's just very cheerily talking with her sisters. You see, they have some. They have large hoods on their on the robes that they're wearing, but they're talking excitedly with each other, sort of over the men who are with them.
Could I would I know if they've performed in public at all yet?
There have been previews, so they've had the first reviews come out, which are middling, but they're so they've been seen by a few thousand people.
Could I walk up to one and just say, "Excuse me, my master loved seeing you in the preview performance. If there's any chance I could just bring you over to him to get your autograph, that would be most appreciated."
Right. Yeah. She looks at you and goes, "Oh, and she starts to speak in Catalani, and cannot exactly understand what you're saying. The man next to her, however, the very boring-looking man, goes, is asking for your autograph. He also is just speaking in Akarosi to her, but he looks a little bit hesitant and holds her a little bit closer with his arm.
Can I study him to see if I happens on anything indicating a...
Sure, absolutely.
Let's do an ocular pat down to...
Yeah.
I'll be a 5.
Okay. You sort of get a look at him. You see that some of the other girls are gathering, trying to talk to the other girl and explain what's going on. And but you see they're getting pulled away by the sense of a dance happening. And she's like, "Oh, sorry." But the older man sort of looks you up and down. You get the sense that this guy is pretty rich, and that all these guys are pretty rich. And that's probably some of the reason for them having the chance to escort these Duskfall ballet ballerinas. It's hard to get more of a read on him than that, but you do get a sense that he's pretty reluctant to let her leave his side, which seems a little weird.
I'll fall back a little bit, but keep walking along behind them.
Right. Yeah, great.
So,
yes, Aldo.
I want to take like one more pass, maybe after finishing with Kailuno, through the area, but I'm especially looking, maybe passing through the garden again. I want to look at and for flowers in boutonnieres or corsages, or also what is available in the garden. If there is something in the garden, what is the safe flower?
The watched flower is marigolds. Let me check the code.
Yeah,
I think
I'm sorry.
aconites is safe.
I mean, is it still like butt cold? I feel like it's butt cold out there.
Yeah, but it's
is,
in glass. It's a greenhouse.
glass garden.
Oh
conservatory.
my god. These people
Yeah.
The fancy party.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if
it is
there
warm in
is
there, yeah.
one of those flowers, I'd love to tuck it into my like coat lapel, my working coat lapel. Oh, there it is. Yeah,
Right.
I'd love to get the aconite,
Aconite.
if there is any
Right.
out there, but I also want to look out onto the floor and in the areas for any of these flowers.
Yeah, love it. Let's do that search. That's great.
Okay. This is gonna
Can I meet you there and help you?
Sure.
I'll find myself wandering to the flowers as well and be like, Aldo, hello.
Yes,
I'll give you a devil's bargain.
Well,
I feel like you already just rolled.
I
right?
did.
Yeah, you did roll. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
It's a 6. Thank you, Hix.
Amazing. So the two of you are looking for aconites in the garden, and Hix, as you've been briefed, I imagine, about this flower code already.
Mhm.
Maybe in a flashback, we had a moment where you were this was given to you. The code was generally explained, and you sort of let this sink into your mind. All these flowers, and suddenly, as this is happening, the whole ballroom and the whole experience reconfigures itself as an arrangement of flowers. You suddenly start to see all of these entryways and different places garlanded with flowers, and you start to decipher the meaning of what's going on. Particularly, you're seeing the flowers that are located on the lapels of the different workers, different guards, different people. And in a single moment, you spot one of the guards, one of the armored people like Aldo, wearing not an aconite, but but wearing a crocus, entering into a curtain that you don't believe to have a wall. He's at probably 200 feet away from you. So that he pulls aside a curtain, sort of Polonius style. It's just hanging over what appears to be a wall.
Okay.
Do you see, Aldo? I don't know why you worry at all. You are a genius. Turning my attention to the curtain.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I will go. And did we find aconite?
You did find aconite. We're gonna fill the Queensdown layout map. So you're aware of the whole layout of the Queen's Magnolia.
Yes, I would hope so. I've spent a lot of time in the Queen's Magnolia. And Queensdown.
Yes, indeed. Yes, sorry, Queensdown. Thank
That's
you. So you're heading out of this garden, and you spot this individual who just appeared. But the sense that you get of Queensdown Manor is that, indeed, as you've noticed, there are large gaps in between the walls. As you're walking through, you hear another grind of the engines, and this sort of like the electroplasmic lights flicker out beyond the gardens. But otherwise, you get the sense that there are probably concealed passages in this enormous house.
Right. I'd like to follow that man.
Right.
And I will do that. And I will also...
I will attend.
I will pin one of these onto Hix as well. Hold still.
Aldo.
I jab you a little bit on accident.
Which one?
Yeah.
You did bring me
aconite.
flowers the next time you saw me.
All right.
So our friend Alistair, you spot Hix and Aldo heading towards this curtain, pinning two aconites onto their chests. Do you intercept them, interact with them?
Yeah, I would sort of stride over to them and try to catch them before they get through the curtain.
Sure, you will catch.
Master Templeton, Master Basran.
What do you want?
My name is Alistair and Searly. I am a mutual friend of one Silas Ward.
Mm.
Hmm.
You're here to make sure we do a good job.
I'm here to make sure you don't fuck up my operation. Yes.
Your
Ooh,
operation.
this is your operation.
It was. Now it seems to be ours, as you are the only backup I'm likely to get tonight. What are you doing?
Well, we spotted somebody going in here. Suspicious, isn't it? A wall, curtain, yet he disappeared.
Very suspicious. Did you have a plan for what was going to happen once you got in there?
Just going to go in there and find out what's going on.
And how many people are in this room around us?
I don't know. Did you count them?
Which wall are we going into?
This currently, you're probably going into the wall north of the West Banquet Hall, so you're like next to that stair. That's sort of right in between the mid there.
I'm counting at least 50 people in the room. I know that you have a tendency to let things get out of hand, Mr. Basran. Is that going to happen now?
Hold on. Who the fuck are you again? You're an inspector? And you're going to be talking to us about methods? We have an intention, sir. We came to this party to do something, and we're not going to let you hinder us with your cop-ass questions. If you counted the number of people in the room, then you can be concerned about that. We're going to follow this guy and see what happens when we get in there. You're welcome to come with us if you stop speaking.
He's going to sort of stand up and square shoulders with you, and then indicate. Go ahead.
Thank you, officer. May I proceed?
Are you in first, Hix, or I will go?
I guess. Sounds like it.
Great.
Yeah.
I guess I turned and walked away.
Yeah, you did.
So we'll get in a second. We'll get what happens as you push this wooden panel of this wall and enter into the space beyond. Meanwhile, Bram, you've gotten your way in through the kitchens down below. People were like, "Oi, come here, come help us lift this." Now, like, you're picking up some big stuff full of already cooked food that's steaming off of this, off of these racks, and you sort of they're trying to put you to work doing stuff. What's your move?
Yeah, I'll do like one round of bringing things in. I'm gonna keep an eye out for if there's like a dish or a job that seems to be going deepest into the kitchens. I'll kind of get into that line, grab, maybe it's like something that needs to go higher up, maybe to like the dining room or something.
Yeah. There are some food tables of appetizers that are going up on carts, and so there's 2 people takes each cart, and so there's you and another guy take these cart, and you head up to a little elevator that's coming up and down, and maybe you shove another guy out of the way to get a place on his cart.
Perfect. Do I have a sense of like in the layout, are there cellars? Is there anything extensive like that, or is it mostly above ground?
Yeah, so there are cellars. Like this whole area down here actually connects at a cut. Like there's some walls and these sort of open arched basement areas that are, some of them are paved, but then you see there's access to a canal at your left. So it looks like there's a couple canal accesses in the basement here, as well as further basement rooms where there's more storage. There's some blue coats in front of one of them. It looks like there is cellar access down here, and also the building is about 4 stories tall. So there's significant stuff going on above the main floor, which the main floor with its vaulted ceilings is about 2.5 stories tall. So there's another maybe 2 stories above it.
And as I'm pushing this cart with this other fellow, and I glance over the canal, do I see a boat, like someone might take, something that's prepared to depart?
That's a good question. Let's make a study or survey roll to see if we
Yeah,
can spot
I'll
something as you're
do-
just like going through the rush of this group.
Yeah, it sounds like a survey, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right.
it could be a hunt if you think a hunt's appropriate. You're looking
No,
for a
I mean,
specific thing?
study would be fine. I just feel like I don't have enough time to really be studying. It's more of a
Yeah.
quick glance.
Yeah, getting a general sense.
It's a 1, so
Yeah,
guess
you're
I don't
sensing
know.
that there are. Yeah, you're sensing that there are. You see that there are boats. They're bringing grocery stuff. It's so much stuff going on. A couple of bluecoats say, who are like sort of guarding this area, say, "You get on your way, huh? Sorry's off limits."
Yeah, sorry, governor.
Yep. So we'll put another couple ticks in the bluecoats suspicious. 5 out of 8.
Oh, great. I'll go to the elevator point where we're supposed to load up. And so people are being taken up to higher floors.
Yep. Up onto the.
I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck. I want to split off and I want to look for secret or, like conveniently narrow, confusing passages somewhere where I can like both lose people and also have the chance of finding, access to something I'm not supposed to have.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't want to get out of the cellar, but I also, it feels like things are being pretty well watched down there.
Yeah. It's pretty well lit. I mean, the areas you're allowed in, it does seem pretty.
Does
pretty
the
thorough.
elevator have upward access, or is it like closed roof?
Like onto the roof itself? Oh, I see.
Just that I could like get into the elevator shaft.
Yeah, there's a hatch that you could easily move and open it up and get onto the roof of the elevator.
I'm gonna lean into my cart pushing partner and say, "Real fucking sorry about this," and then deck him.
Amazing.
Shall
We're
I
just
skirmish.
He crumples.
Oh, okay, great.
This is a
Love
tier
to
0 waiter.
All right.
This is the Ted Bushman of Duskball.
So like the elevator doors have closed and then they open back up on the next floor and this guy's just passed out and the maybe like click the whatever the top of the elevator is shuts as I hoist myself into the elevator shaft.
Yes.
And then I would like go ahead.
You just immediately notice that the elevator shaft does have you thought that the whole building was not illuminated with any electroplasmic lights. There are a couple, like along the whole length, there may be 3 electroplasmic bulbs burning. And the inside of this looks like the cement here would indicate to you that although Queensdown Manor was built more than 100 years ago, this inside construction is all new.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can I make a proper study now that I'm away from prying eyes?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's a controlled position, so if you fail it, you can make a different roll.
Okay,
of the different
it is a 4.
Okay, yeah, that's a success. So you, so your specific thing is looking for sort of secret passages.
Yeah,
you see, like you could
stuff.
climb up. Yeah, you could climb up and potentially get to the next level if you wanted to. But what you see instead is that there is a. Let's see how you see this. There is a big metal door that's pretty thin that you crank open as you like climb up onto the elevator. Actually, it starts to go back down, and you maybe like have to hold on to the side of the like some metal fittings on the side of the shaft. But you're able to open this thing, slide it open, and you find a passageway about 4 or 5 feet wide. A hallway back here, which is packed with a few things. But not like any grocery stuff, none of the waiter stuff. You get the sense that no waiters are using these hallways.
All right, I will slide my way in.
Yeah, so you're inside. Meanwhile, the girl, did you see what was going on with Aldo and Hix and our friend Alistair, or are you continuing to search the folk on the floor? What's your plan?
I mean, my plan was to, after doing a little bit of my job, to try and avoid as much suspicion, to make my way over to the last of the 3 groups that we haven't checked out, the poor looking women.
Yeah, these Charhole girls who were all given these sort of not scholarship, but like generous donation that allowed them to attend this big fancy party. Yeah,
right.
You can go in and check it out. Yeah.
Okay, and I think my plan is as I get really close to them, I'm going to trip over myself and fall onto the ground. Oh,
Yeah. Right.
gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh dear! Oh, she fell over. Are you all right? And one
Oh.
comes and gets you up.
Perfectly all right. Hello. Oh, you look so
This is
familiar.
This is a rather lovely girl with curly black hair, and she looks at you and says, "Me? I look familiar."
Oh, I think
I
so.
don't know if that's possible.
Is it not? Have I not seen you maybe around Charlo? That's where I'm from, you see. You're working the party.
You're from Charlo. Oh, look, girls, she's from Charlo. And some of the girls sort of come around. They're drinking pretty heavily, and they go, "Oh, it's so good to meet you." A couple of them are a little bit like, already just the fact of attending this party has made them a little bit haughty towards people from the same town as them. But most of them are quite friendly.
I had no idea there'd be Charlo girls here. And is there any, I don't know, Charlo handshake or something? Like, we're from the same team, the way, sports
It's the Char Hollow
people
fight
do
song.
that.
Yeah.
If there is one, Bram has definitely taught it to you.
Yeah, you totally know it. There's probably a couple little there's probably a couple of cant phrases referencing certain geographical features of Char Hollow,
Sure.
and saying I'm from down this place, and so they find this funny enough of hearing this at this fancy party and embrace you more thoroughly.
I'd like to use a special ability I have, looking into a mirror to assess if there's anyone who's lying, and so as I do this, I'm sort of I had no idea Charlo girls would be here, not dressed like this. How do you manage to get in not serving these folks?
Oh, we were just given entrance, and you look around at the girls, and you get the sense that they're all, in terms of getting a sense of their entryway, they're all telling the truth. They're surprised to be here, though you see two of the girls are wearing crocuses on their dresses.
Yeah. Okay. And
The
did we see
we
saw a crocus earlier too, didn't we?
On one of them, on the man who disappeared behind the curtain.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Can you remind me what the crocus means?
The crocus was not indicated.
Oh,
as
it was
a
one of the
specific-
we don't know. Okay.
One of the mystery ones, yeah.
Yeah, you might have an inkling. I think. Oh gosh. Okay. Where are we in this? Where are we in the clock of it getting darker? And are me and the girls in a corner of the room or anything?
You're close to the wall-ish. You're at the banquet tables, which have just been set up, and things are starting to get set on the tables. Glassware is coming out. And we're at 2 out of 6, so we've descended down to 2. We're getting close. The things are starting to get pretty dark. It's getting harder to see people.
I so love your flowers. Those are beautiful.
Well, the one girl goes, "Oh, thank you. There was a nice man who gave it to me." And the other girl says, "What? I didn't even see I had this on me."
Oh, that's so funny. So funny indeed. I wonder. Well, I wonder if well, you see, that's my favorite flower, and I would love to maybe. You see, I could get you a different flower from the garden over there, a prettier flower. It would match your dress better, maybe if you could. And gosh, I feel a little desperate here. I'm gonna try and admire
Take her flowers.
it,
She ain't shit.
the
Take her
flowers.
Flowers.
All right, what's you gonna roll on this flower taking business? You take a flower from a girl.
Flower, yeah.
This is when she
Like
goes
flower
full
this
Bilbo.
I mean, I feel like it's finesse. They're not fighting me exactly, right?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
no, definitely not.
I've been rolling so bad tonight.
Get a devil's bargain.
That's a 6.
All right,
Great,
don't talk
okay.
to the devil.
Yeah, the girl says, and the other one says, "Oh, it's fine. I'll get you another one." Yeah, take it. It's not your color anyway.
Thank you so much. It is my favorite flower, and she'll tuck it in to her pocket and quickly make her way to a different room with her snuffer.
Great. So Hix, Aldo, and Alistair, you push open the wooden passageway and enter into this whitish stone passage. It looks like a lot of it's poured concrete. There's panels of this concrete on the sides of the walls. It's essentially pretty clear. It looks like there's a couple you see thrown down by the side of the doorway entrance. There's a couple glasses that have been left here, like someone was carrying a tray but just needed to get through. And the place is looking pretty empty. There's down 20 feet. There's a left and a right fork, and you hear footsteps down the right fork, and also the sound of a muffled cry.
Down the right fork, going away from us or toward us, or just static in one place?
Going. Yeah, you can't sense which direction it's going.
Aldo pulls out a small pistol with some electroplasmic build on it, and loads in some darts, some blackout darts.
Right.
And will turn back to both of them. I suggest maybe I go first.
With that,
With the whole thing, might be more plausible that I am here. But yes, with this as well.
How loud is that likely to be?
Say again?
How loud is that likely to be?
That's the point. It's not. You want me to show you?
he doesn't want that, although no one wants that. You're always doing that. Like,
Rite
just
of
be cool.
passage.
Just be cool. We'll be all right. We have the flowers. They'll protect us.
Okay. And Aldo will kind of peer around the corner and head that direction.
Following.
Yeah. So you walk on down, and you see a form. You see a form disappearing, and as you're approaching, you see a man. One of these men with the crocus on his lapel. He's dressed in full collective regalia. One of the guards, like you, and he says, "Don't worry, we'll be back for you soon." Closes a door. There's another man standing nearby, also a guard. Looks up and sees you and says, "What are you lot doing here?"
We're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing here. What the fuck are you doing here?
They look
Command.
They look at your flowers.
I am trying
great.
to command this person to exert dominance to get them to back the fuck off. Can I have a devil's
Cool.
bargain?
This man.
Oh my god. Oh gosh, what's the devil's bargain here? I think the devil. It's maybe not as interesting a devil's bargain.
I don't know what you got.
Say it.
I don't know. Because the boring one is that Casimir will arrive very soon.
Oh, I would love that bargain if you're willing to give it to me. I would love to see Casimir.
Great, cool. We'll do it.
Great. That is a 6.
Okay, so these guys temporarily, put down one guy has a gun with a big piece of machinery attached to it, that he's lifted and he slowly puts down, and he says, "Would you lose your crocus? Fucking amateurs."
Fucking amateurs. I don't know. I just see you waving that big thing around with no intention of using it.
The other one looks at his friend and says, "They're not with us." And then he pulls his hand in between the two layers of concrete, pulls a lever, and you hear the groan of the engines beneath the house, and the walls start closing in on all of you.
What?
Oh shit.
And they start bolting in the other direction, but you have a chance to act. What you doing?
Wait, in what direction?
There's the fork. You turned right, and there's a hallway that continues down. They have a little door just on the side here that they threw some people into, but there's a continuing hallway. But they've got some time. I mean, you could make a shot. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to try to shoot at one of them with this gun.
Great.
Ideally. And it's closing on us?
Very slowly, yeah.
So there's this door that we are locked out of, and then there were these two guards.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep. Who were talking to somebody who was inside that little door. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd like to take a shot here at them.
Right.
Is what I'm hoping for here. I'm gonna offer up a finesse roll.
Can
Okay.
I?
Yeah.
How can I aid that?
Hold like my elbow just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We assume a practice position where you get down on a knee and I get.
We've done this a lot.
Go
We've done this a
away.
lot. We practice it. Should we flashback? No.
No, I am gonna take the shot though, and it's double sixes.
Okay.
Fuck yes, and you hit both of them.
Yeah, right.
With a single
I want to
dart.
shoot as
Yeah,
many as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, the bolt flies out of this gun pretty quietly and strikes one of them. He sort of pulls at it in the back of his shoulder, is trying to grab it, and then within a few seconds sort of looks back around and goes and sort of topples, not completely unconscious, but pretty close to it. The walls are continuing to close around you a little bit. The other one's still at some distance. He turns around, pulls out like the other dart fires past him. And he goes, and he pulls out a pistol and a sword and starts advancing towards both of you, towards the three of you. Alistair, do you have a move?
Yeah, can I pull out a throwing knife and chuck it at him?
Yes, absolutely, you can. Let's do that throwing knife.
Would that be a hunt?
Yes, certainly. Yeah,
And I would like to push myself for it.
perfect. Yes.
I mean,
Alright,
I'd love
that
to
is-
aid if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, how? I don't know. I can't aid you. I haven't practiced with you.
You don't like me very much either.
I'm only just meeting you. I'll aid you later.
It's a 6, regardless.
Okay, amazing. This guy takes it. Where does he take it?
I'd have been aiming for the throat to stop any crying out, but I understand if that's too lethal.
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it
okay
strikes
if
him in
it's
the-
lethal.
It strikes him in the clavicle, and he goes, "Ugh," and sort of like leaves it there for a second, pulls at it, and fires in your direction, but it rings out over your shoulder. It's a little bit muffled because of the machine around this thing. It doesn't make a whole lot of noise. Hits the concrete near your head, but he's the walls are still starting to get close a little bit around you. This door in between the two of you, you realize is where he's headed. He's trying to get to it because if you can get it, you get the idea that these hallways are modular and basically designed to close entirely, so that in between people passing through them, the hallways close completely.
Cool.
Which also has the effect of crushing anyone inside.
Yes.
What a mess. But it'll be him that did it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run and try to get this door open.
Great. Yeah.
How's
Yeah,
it-
you could try
Is
it.
it locked?
No, it's not locked, but he's in between you and it. So in order to get to it, you'd have to distract him in some way or skirmish with him or something.
Okay.
I mean, he's not in between
Well,
you and it. You were both about equidistant from it. You both stare, like how you both look at the doorknob at the same time.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not very good at like fighting. I'm good at wrecking shit. So I guess I could try
you
to
gonna wreck
wreck
him
this
with?
man. Does he seem wreckable? Like, is he weak enough to throw the Pokeball? The wrecked Pokeball that I want to throw at him?
He's hurt. I mean, this is a tough dude. This is one of the elite collective members, so he is a tier above you. But he did just get hurt pretty bad with this thing, so you might be able to at least subdue him temporarily, if not take him out.
I think I'm just gonna pull out my gun and do it old-fashioned waysies and try to blast him.
Great.
That's a 6.
Okay, yeah. So he comes towards you, and as the two of you are getting closer, he lifts his sword, swings at you, strikes it, and it hits in the door. And he looks at you just as you fire the gun straight into where? Where do you hit him?
In the heart, right in the heart.
Yeah, he's struck this, and you go, and he's blasted back onto the ground and lies still on the floor. You slam open the doorway, get inside, and there are two young women inside the room who are gagged.
Hello.
They're tied up. Their hands are tied, and their legs are tied.
Great. I will untie them. I'll assume that Alistair and Aldo have sense enough to come into the door, and I will untie them.
Yeah, but the one who is passed out, I will also pull. I will leave the other one wherever it is lying, and I will pull the one that is passed out, hopefully by now, into the door so it's not crushed. But I will leave an arm out.
Oh my god!
I purposely pull him in, and then I throw it out, kind of into the wall.
I'm going to pluck a crocus off of the lapel of one of them as well, and stick it, exchange it, and also say to Hix, "Are you sure you want to let them go?"
Oh no! What do you want to do, Alistair? This is your operation. What's your move?
I want to get everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Me too.
if we have two terrified women running around, alerting everybody, that might spoil the party a little.
Okay.
Else.
I'll turn and I'll look at whoever I was untying, and I'll say, "He wants me to leave you tied up. I'm going to. It seems fine. It's okay. Don't worry. We're gonna try to help you. Don't worry."
The other one sort of groans a little bit, and you see that she's kind of only half in wakefulness. You see on her bare arm, there's a bit of a bruise around what appears to have been an injection site. These women may have been drugged. So, Bram, you are making your way through the hallways of the interior of this of Queensdown Manor. What is your move?
Yeah, I mean, I want to cover as much ground as I can, looking for things that are either untoward or signs of people being held. I mean, that's really my goal.
Yeah, great. Let's
So
make
can
a
I
study
do
or a survey.
Yeah, let me do a study. As I'm really moving quickly though. It's a 5.
Okay, great. So you're walking through this place. You're able to get a vague sense of the layout. It's pretty labyrinthine. There's a couple moments where you're able to see through one-sided mirrors into the rest of the manor, and you get glimpses of people passing by. And you also see these levers, and you get like a vague sense of how these things work. And there's a moment where you are passing through one of these hallways and find yourself looking, you do a turn and find yourself looking at a member of the collective in full gear, not even in servant gear. He's just in the full armor. He's got a crocus on his lapel, and he's now a Kebulani man, very tall, and says, "Mr. Borden, how are you?"
I'm just getting a little bit locked. Take him out.
Amazing.
Yeah, my goal is to do as much damage as possible. Actually, let me pull out some equipment here.
Get one of those weird like hunks of metal you carry around.
This one will be a little more straightforward. I'm just gonna go with a large skinning knife. And I'll just go for the throat if I can.
Yeah, amazing. Let's do your skirmish. Yeah.
6.
Okay, great. So with his advanced tier, it's reduced effect, so he's able to glance it off of an armband on his sleeve. You cut off the cuff of his shirt, and the armor the leather armor that blocked the skinning knife flies off. The two of you are just like down this hallway in close armed combat. He's not even armed at this point. The knife is just coming down, and it's striking. It sparks against the concrete, and finally he's able to pull out his own knife and pushes the offensive back against you. The two of you are locked in combat. Make your next roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'll if I can try to get a foot behind him, go for the gut with the knife, but it's really a feint as I try to drive his head backward, trip him onto the concrete.
Great. Yeah, let's make the roll.
That's a 4.
Okay. So you're making this move. You're trying to push him back, and you're able to get the foot behind him. He starts to go down. He slams his shin against the concrete to trap your leg there where you're trying to block it. So you lose your balance as well. Both of you fall onto the ground, and he strikes at you with his knife, attempting to sink it deep into your bicep. You can make a resistance roll against this harm.
Oh yeah, this is so risky though. Do I take?
Or you can just take level 1 harm.
I'll take the level 1 harm.
Okay. Yeah. So he strikes into it, into your bicep, and you just feel this very sharp knife sliding into your muscle.
Ow. That's what Bram says.
Oh.
No, it said ow.
Oh yes, indeed. Ow.
Yeah.
Right.
So this harm is
level 1 harm. This is going to be deep muscle wound, but it's still level 1 harm.
Okay. I've taken it. Well, we're both on the ground.
You're both on the ground.
I am going to go for I'll sacrifice position for effect as I try to just brute force take his arm. I'll drop my own knife and use his and just try to drive it straight into let's see. Yeah, I mean his head is exposed, right? We'll go straight for the face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, make that roll.
The 4 again.
Oh gosh. Okay. So in this situation, we're going to say that you and he are struggling for a minute. He's pulling back. He's like kicking at you. Like both, like it to an outside observer, it's not clear exactly what's happening, but both of you are keenly aware of every balance of power in this fight that's happening. He's grabbing your arm, trying to twist it out of the way. You're coming for him. He's pushing you against the wall, slamming your wrist repeatedly against the concrete, and you just pull it back with the force of your arm and just plunge it into him. He lets out a single cry and is gone. You let go of the knife, and you hear a collective gasp from 1,000 people as the lights go out, including all of the lights in the hallways.
All right.
Well, not all of them, but like most of them. Yeah.
I've got my heavy load, so I'd like to pull out. Would it count? I'm trying to think like some kind of flare or lantern.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's something that fits that description.
Yeah. Yeah, lantern. There you go.
Items. Great. There you go. Great.
So may have got like a little electroplasmic like stick, and I kind of like twist, and it flashes like a flare.
Yeah,
hopefully I can see through the hallways. And now I'm gonna just pell-mell run as far as I can make it.
Yeah. So before the lights went out, Kaya fell. You were in the main hall. You're seeing these 3 groups of women, and you notice. You look at the nuns, you look at the Char Hollow girls, you look at the Duskfall Ballet. The nuns are gathering together. A couple of them look a little bit sleepy. The Char Hollow girls are still partying. There's no one really around, but you notice a few things at once. First, you see 4 or 5 of the Duskfall Ballet girls starting to look a little woozy, and a couple of the other ones start pulling hoods over the men at the table start pulling the hoods over their heads as the last candles get extinguished. And in the final moments before the last few candles going out, you're holding one of the last 5 candles. You've got the snuffer right there, and you see through one of the curtains Casimir and 2 men appear, and then boom, all the lights are out. You get the chance to act first.
Oh, this ability is such a curse sometimes.
Yeah, you don't have to at first. You simply get the opportunity to.
Yeah, of course. Well, I want to, of course. And I wonder, since I knew to look for the crocuses, did I notice crocuses on the ballerinas or on the nuns at all?
Yeah, you notice them. You notice that the nuns did not. The nuns did not have any. Didn't appear to be wearing any flowers of any kind. But you noticed as the lights were going out, the men at the tables with the Duskfall Ballet slipping crocuses into the glasses at the table.
Okay, here's what I would have liked to have happened. I think maybe while Bram is fighting, and I can do a flashback if you need me to, but
Sure.
I think the girl has prepared, in addition to her servants' guise, just like a party dress that she has brought with her. And as soon as she has snatched the flowers from the other girls, I think she has donned that dress and attached a crocus to her lapel. And and also like darkened the ends of her hair, and she, is still a costume designer, so maybe she's even managed to grab a prosthetic nose or something from the Velvet Patchworks, and in her new guise with the crocus attached to her, and as the light is going out, she moves towards the ballerinas and tries to join that group with her knives ready at her hips.
Okay, great. So let's do a flashback roll on the effectiveness of your seeking a disguise among the things of the Patchworks. You can choose whatever action you feel is appropriate.
Yeah, let's see. I think can it be finesse? Like I'm
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're sneaking the stuff away.
Sneaking the stuff away. Oh, well, if I'm sneaking the stuff away, can it be prowl? Like,
nah, I think finesse.
4.
Okay, great. So you're able to get like pretty good stuff. It's not like a perfect disguise, but it's good enough to pass. The first couple looks at you that someone would make.
It's dark.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very dark.
And I do take stress for flashbacks, right?
It depends on the flashback. In this case, it does not, because this is a group you're already allied with. It's not a big deal.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are landing in place alongside the Duskfall Ballet, maybe shoving aside someone else who's there. And you hear as the silence goes down, as the lights go down. For a moment, there's silence. There's absolute quiet in the house for just a moment among these thousands of people, and then whispered conversations start. And people start talking, and within moments, you hear all sorts of interesting noises. You hear like nearby a couple of people starting to kiss and making some make-out noises. You hear people starting to dig into their food, because that's the other part of this feast, is that this is the point, now that they're all seated and now that the lights are out, that everyone starts to eat. And so there's the clinking of tons of silverware all over the place, and you're trying to hear the footsteps of Casimir and the men and women of the collective coming into the space.
And as I do that, I'll sort of start to slump into the seat that I maybe occupied by the ballerinas, as if I too have been drugged.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you pull. You find yourself sitting there, and you hear a little bit of whispering around you as a couple of these people start talking, and it's not sure exactly what's going on. But what you feel is there's a girl right next to you. She gets pulled off of the chair, and you hear another person sit down in her place, sort of shufflingly.
Mhm. Do I get pulled out of the chair? Because that's my aim, right? Is to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They'll likely come for you in a moment. But the person who's sitting down in the chair next to you leans and falls onto you unconscious.
The new person in the chair.
The new person who's just sat down, and as they fall into you for just a moment, and then the rich man next to you says, "No, my dear, come this way," and pulls the sleeping girl closer to him.
Oh, they've been replaced. Oh. Yeah. I think I'm going to still wait to get pulled off the chair.
Right. Yeah. Momentarily, someone comes and grabs you. You go limp, and someone hefts you very easily onto their shoulder and starts. Not actually that dramatically. They just sort of lift you gently and start walking you out. You feel yourself getting carried out of the main chamber.
In the silence of this moment, can I grab the knife from my hip? And I'm lifted over a shoulder. It seems like I have easy access to a throat. And I would like to pull the knife from my hip, reach around, and just go as quietly as possible and let this body drop.
You certainly can attempt it. Yeah. This person is a little higher tier than you, but yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say this is a. Tell me, is this a skirmish or a finesse? I feel like it's one of those.
I think skirmish would work better than finesse, just because
That's
of
fine.
the movement involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's reduced effect because this person is higher tier. Is that right?
Yes.
And there's no attack of opportunity kind of.
I mean, you could sacrifice position for effect,
Yeah.
and or
Yeah.
get a devil's bargain.
What would my devil's bargain be?
Devil's bargain's only for extra dice, right? We established that.
It is for extra dice, yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
In this case, if there's any thoughts on a devil's bargain, hit me up with them.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I always ask.
No,
for them
you're
and
good.
offer nothing.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best move here. I think the devil's bargain. I don't have a devil's bargain for you on this one.
Fair.
Sorry.
I'm rolling. That's a 6 and a 5. I mean, the 5 doesn't mean anything, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You've pushed for effect. So you're effectively able to you're on this person's shoulder. You're able to reach around and attempting to do this as skillful as you can, slice this throat. And the only complication is that you, in doing so, they struggle just a little bit, pull at the curtain that is just nearby, and there's a rip as this thing clips off of two of the things taking it. A lot of other people probably wouldn't hear this, but this person tumbles to the ground, and you're able to sort of catch yourself just quietly enough as the person falls. You hear some more footsteps around you, and there's just the tiniest glint of light as the door into the place beyond the curtain opens up, and you see the shape of Casimir standing over you, looking down at your body. You get to act first.
Yes.
Always.
I'm on the ground. I've fallen on the ground.
You're falling on the ground. You're on your back.
With a kind of shush, shh, we wouldn't want them to hear. She'll reach her arms out and just try and drop him, like reach behind his legs and drop him onto the floor.
Okay. Yeah, make the roll. How are you planning to do it? Are you, if you're...
Yeah, I think this is a skirmish then.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a 4.
Okay. Casimir, as you sort of whip your leg around, his leg is like a tree trunk, and he just kicks your leg aside, comes forward towards you, and pushes you, grabs you by the mouth, pushes you down onto the ground hard. You feel your bone pressing against the wooden floor of this thing, and he says, "You're coming with us," and like picks you up and bodily throws you into the hallway. But let's flash back really quick to get Hix, Aldo, and Varric. You
Not
have
Varric.
been inside. Not Varric! Oh my gosh, oh, Alistair. Oh man, they introduced this character so fast. So, Alistair, Hix, and Aldo, you have listened just moments ago to the agonizing screams of the man whose arm was crushed and broken inside the closing, hallway. There's a lever inside that will allow you to open up the hallway, inside the room that will allow you to open up the hallway again. Once you've done so, what do? You hear and see the effects of the reduced light. Do you come back out into the dark of the main room? Or what is your plan?
So it's dark now.
Yeah, the back hallways are a little bit more still illuminated. It's like when there's normally 5 light bulbs in a stretch of space, it's a single light bulb, so it's darker, but there's this individual sort of islands of light in the darkness of these hallways.
I will produce a hooded lantern that I had hidden in my clothing somehow.
Amazing. Yeah, it comes out.
So we've noticed the lighting has changed, right?
Yep, you noticed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a window of opportunity to act.
This is early. Go wrong?
Seems to be going right for us so far. We've found 2 people. Let's keep looking.
Stay on.
I think I will move out into the hallway after having reloaded my pistol. And I think it's, I don't know, moving deeper in to try to find, I don't know, other such like rooms that may be holding people or something to do with, I don't know, to see if, I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Great. I'm going to roll hunt.
Cool. It's perfect.
And that is double 6s.
Yeah. So you are heading around the hallways and you start to hear fast footsteps. As you come around a certain corner, you back up really quick because you see a line of people coming in with shapes on their backs, wearing dresses identical to those that the Duskfall Ballet were wearing. All of the people on their backs are unconscious, and they're heading hurriedly through these dark hallways. You don't spot Casimir, but you assume he's this direction. And as you sort of take your time coming around here, you start to see them coming back through with women also wearing those same dresses.
So
Okay.
you saw them leave with ballet people who look like they're from the ballet,
Yes.
and then come back through with different people who look like them.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
My impulse is to find out wherever they're taking these women / bringing them from, I guess.
Yeah. My impulse is more, where are they grabbing them from?
Right.
Great. Yeah. So you can make a prowl action to attempt to get closer and perceive what's happening without being perceived. Or if there's
Can we have increased effect because I got a crit on my hunt?
Yes.
Thank you. Great.
Yes, and
Hey. Okay, who wants to lead that? I'll aid you.
I can lead if it's a group
Great.
prowl, right?
I'll take 1 stress.
I can spare this. I can spare the stress. Well, if I'm leading, I take the stress, don't I?
You take the stress.
You would take the stress of failures.
Oh, so
if
you're
there's
going to
any
lead an
failures.
action. Oh, okay.
If it's a group action, right? 'Cause then we.
Yes.
So
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 4 as well.
I rolled a 3, so I'll take
Oh no.
One stress for your own loud ass.
Should have taken the help.
You hear the creaking of what sound the metallic brace that's in Alistair's pant leg as he tries to prowl around.
Oh,
Yeah, great. And so what you perceive, maybe you split up. So Aldo, you get the sense you're able to peek out through a reverse mirror for a second, and with just a little bit of light, you're able to perceive. You're able to see people coming to the tables and picking and replacing people with others who are on the thing. And Hix, as you come close, you hear one of them saying, "All right, get them upstairs into the holding rooms. We want them to be none the wiser when they wake up." And then you see Casimir come into the hallway with the girl,
okay.
who has a chance, if she would like, to resist his capture.
Resist would take stress. Like
You would
it's
do
not.
you do a resist. Yeah, be a resistance roll.
I'm not gonna risk taking the stress.
Okay, great. So yeah, he's got you temporarily held. You could still make an action to attempt to get out, but all three of you are now at a locus where you can see these men heading out and splitting up into different groups.
And how close is
Casimir's got
Casimir?
you. He's 50, 60 feet away.
Going away toward us? Where's he headed? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, getting the sense of this. It's supposed to be labyrinthine, but I've made it too labyrinthine, but I like the explanation. You are essentially at the corner of the building. You've sort of come and you're looking at him in an opening of hallway, and he's passing across your vision from left to right. If that makes sense.
Okay. He's not coming toward us or away
No.
from us.
No.
All right.
And Bram, sorry, really quick. Bram, you also were able to hear something going on downstairs and were able to get generally headed in this direction. So you are now at some distance. You're not yet visually seeing anything, but you're hearing what's going on.
Okay,
And
so
hearing that there are people moving.
And I'm in the tunnel. I've got my light. The lights have been out now for how long, would you say?
Yeah, we're gonna say that the light is a 4-part clock. The darkness is a 4-part clock, and we've got 1 out of 4 currently, and it's rising. So once it gets to 4, it'll be done.
All right.
Okay, and what I'm hearing is people moving on the other side of the walls.
You're hearing them further down the hall and maybe 1 or 2
Okay.
turns from you.
Okay, yeah, I'll hustle in that direction. I've been looking for signs of people prowling the halls.
Yes.
And what I'm hearing sounds like allies, enemies, victims.
You're hearing numerous people moving. You're hearing a little bit. There's a couple moments of people going, sort of confused noises from people who might be unconscious.
Yeah, I'm charging in that direction.
Okay. So we've got Alistair, Aldo, and Hix have the first potential action here. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go after Casimir, and I'll probably whisper something like, "Let's take it upstairs," and that's all I'll say, and then I'll just keep going after him, whichever direction he's going.
Someone needs to get upstairs, is what you said.
Well, there's the holding rooms and stuff. Meaning,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Great. I'll look to Alistair and I'll be like, that's you and me.
Very well.
Right. You see a ladder on the side of these halls, so you're able to climb up onto the next area, and you hear a couple other people climbing up similar ladders. So Hix and Alistair, you find yourself. Sorry, were you saying something, Alistair? We missed you.
I was just going.
Oh no! I can't
Perhaps the time for. Oh no! Am I?
No, you're back. You're back.
You're here.
Perhaps the time for subtlety.
I'm going to let you take the lead. I'm really high right now.
You what?
Don't worry about it. I took an illegal drug. Are you going to arrest me?
tempt
Just
me.
lead the way. I'm here. I'm with you. Go.
You climb up and see 4 or 5 men heading in the direction of, heading down the hallway away from you. You're behind them. It's pretty dark, but you see them passing. The first of them passing out back into the hallways of the main house, no longer in the sort of hidden passages.
Like we should head the direction they're coming from because they just off kidnappies.
Agreed. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. So you find them. They've just been dropping off some people. You open up the door, and there's one of the men is still inside, and looks up at you both, and immediately reaches for his gun.
I'm not a throwing knife. Apparently, I have 6.
Amazing.
I'm gonna blast him as well. I mean, that's my impulse.
Yes. Great.
How close is he? Is this too far for a hunt?
It's probably too close. Well, it's closer is the more of the challenge. He's probably 10 feet away from you in this big room. Yeah, but you could. A finesse would probably work better, or a skirmish.
I'm happy to finesse this.
I will aid.
Right.
It will be double 6s. Alistair luckier than Varric.
Okay, amazing. This guy from the collective gets up, lifts his gun towards you, holds it out towards Hicks's face, and gets the throwing knife right in the eye. He collapses onto the floor of this holding room. And you see that there are a number of the girls in here laid out with a bunch of drinks around them. You get the sense that they were laid out in an attempt to imitate that these girls might have just experienced a blackout after getting very drunk, that they would believe themselves to have simply gotten sick.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And they're all out cold or kind of groggy and.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
most of them are out cold. A couple of
How
them
many are we seeing here?
In this case, about 6. No, maybe 7.
Oh no.
What do you know in there,
Meh.
Aldo?
This is backwards.
They have a numbers problem.
You think that we went to the wrong people? That the victims are on the floor now is what you're knowing.
Yeah, sorry, the meta pigeon flew through this this apartment and made me say that.
No.
Great. Hix heard it. Hix is like, Carson. What? Eyes like dilated and being like, Carson. We're in the wrong place. Carson said we're in the wrong place.
Who the fuck is Carson?
What's the
Who's Carson?
maybe-
I don't know. Ah!
What's the flashback explanation for this moment?
I mean, the girl did
No, does that-
realize what was happening as she, like, right before she was getting
Yeah.
dragged away. Like, she did recognize, like, that they are getting replaced and the actual trafficked girls are coming out onto the floor now. So I wonder if as Casimir has grabbed her and she, as soon as she sees Aldo, she says something. The girls are out there. The ones that are being trafficked. They're on the floor now. And then maybe he conveys something else. Is that what you mean? Or is the girl...
Yeah.
Why not the psychic metagame? I don't know. It seems appropriate. It seems like somewhat. It's weird, I know, but like,
You want me to
You know.
tap into the ghost field?
tap into the ghost field, tap into the psychedelic realm. I don't know.
Yeah. What
I
are we
don't
trying to solve
know.
here? We're just trying to solve.
Maybe
the
we
problem.
just came to the realization. I don't know. Or we didn't. Or we're like, great, we saved the day. I'll turn to Alistair.
These
And,
girls.
I mean, I didn't come up with the realization, and there's no flashback
Yeah.
way to know. It's like, okay,
Might
did
be
we do it? This
wasted
is your
time.
operation.
Is Alistair having a moment here?
Did they still have the
The crocuses?
crocuses? Yeah.
They do not. They don't have anything on them.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
Something's-
Alistair here's the thing. I think Alistair might recognize, maybe Alistair actually did see the Duskfall Ballet and recognizes that these are the actual members of the ballet, and could put two and two together that they wouldn't steal high profile people.
This is one of the ones that I talked to. You didn't. I think something's wrong.
Okay. Do we go
I
back?
think we need to. I think we need to go back. Yes.
Let's go.
All right, so you guys are heading out of this place, hurrying down the ladder. Meanwhile, Bram, you now see Casimir past your vision going from right to left. So basically, this is the hallway that Casimir is walking down. Aldo, you're coming from this direction. Bram, you're coming from this direction. Aldo, you're now turning around this corner. So Casimir is passing past both of you out. And there's an open hatchway going down.
I want to be as fast as
He's
I
not
can on
alone,
this
right?
tail.
He's not alone. There's a couple with him. There's one behind him, one ahead of him.
Lackeys, like
Yeah, other collective.
yeah.
Guys in armor.
Well, I can engage with him, but
I'll
that's not
back
going
you
to get
up.
me any closer to my goal of, meeting up with the group and figuring out who. Like Bram has no idea what is going
Anything that's
on.
happening.
Well, it sounds like we're about to meet up.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aldo and Bram are about to see each other.
All right, I'll bide my time, and rather than charging Casimir head on, I will let the group pass and then see Aldo reach the intersection, and I'll kind of wave my. Maybe I hid the lantern, and then I'll
Yeah.
wave it out when I see you.
Oh, great. And upon seeing it, does Casimir know I'm coming? I'm trying to be sneaky behind him, I guess.
Yeah, sure. No, I don't think he does. He's still passing through as quickly as he can.
Okay.
I'm like covered in blood.
It's like-
Yeah.
Well, looks like you had a fucking rough time.
Yeah, to deal with a couple people.
Yeah, well, we have to deal with him now. He's got her. He's got the girl.
You got Kyle.
Yes. And he just like takes off back down. He's like, come on.
After Casimir,
Oh, yeah.
let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
Bram pulls out his loaded volley gun and runs after you.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, yikes.
Amazing. Bram and the others disappear down the hatchway at the end of the hallway. You hurry after it. It slams shut behind you. You're able to sprint now, not worrying about sound. You sort of pull it open, fling open this hatch, and immediately are viewing water down below you at the bottom of a ladder. There is canal access right here, and you see Casimir and the others getting into a large electroplasmic boat.
Do I have a clear shot for the first round?
Yeah, absolutely. Make the shot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little
I'll
obscure
just
through the
lean
narrow
over to
thing, but
Aldo.
yes.
Ready?
And then Aldo jumps.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Aldo's like flying through the air with a pistol in one hand and a dagger in one hand and a rapier in the
Yes.
Can I sacrifice position for effect? And
Retroactively. Oh no. Yes.
well, I haven't rolled yet, but
Yeah, okay, great.
my hope is, it's like to represent basically the volley gun has such a kick. It's literally like 7 shotguns being fired at once.
Yes.
And it has a spray effect. So my hope,
Yeah.
I don't know, like either I can try and get as many of those bullets into Casimir as possible, or sacrifice position for effect to hit more of the group, whichever is
Sure.
more plausible.
Am I still just draped over Casimir's shoulder?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is a hard pull
That's
here.
a great position to be in.
Well,
I mean,
think-
I'll
okay,
fire
so-
at their legs.
Aim for the legs. Yeah.
So let's
Like
say,
Achilles.
girl,
Okay.
You in your tumble, you got to look back over your shoulder at these two dunces coming behind you. You they're not dunces, they're great, but you know that they're behind you. So as you fall onto the surface, as you like they climb down this ladder and drop a few feet onto the surface of the boat, you have a moment to act.
Okay.
Right, of course, because you're.
Yeah.
Because you're
So as I drop, I'll just roll off as far to the side of the boat as I can.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Go ahead
familiar
and
with
make a
how
s-
this works.
Yeah, go ahead and make a skirmish roll to move out of the way.
That's a 6.
Great. Yeah. So you are in this case, you're totally off of Casimir. He drops you. He's moving to try and grab you and secure his grip over you. And just at that moment, you get off of his back, roll and clang onto the metal surface of this boat, and are able to roll out of the way as Bram fires.
Okay, here goes.
Double sixes.
3.
Oh, no. Very
Oh,
bad.
no.
I wish I had. Sorry.
So your bullet, a couple of the bullets clang along the side of this descent, this hatch, just because the spread is so wide. They sort of clang and go wide. A couple land in the water, and a couple land right near Casimir, striking. And one of them, he looks up and just happens to have his hand in the way that it strikes at his shoulder and pings a piece of leather right off of him. And he looks up at both of you and sees you. And Aldo, go ahead and make your roll as you fall down the hatch with your dagger or with your rapier.
Both. I drew them both, baby.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'd just like to land and try to knife whoever is closest, I guess.
Great.
If there's 3
amazing.
threats, I should do whatever's closest. So I will go ahead
great.
and finesse. And we're gonna wreck it here. Yes, we are. Double 6s.
Amazing. Yes. So there are 3 members of the collective immediately around you, a couple more on the boat. They've got guns, they've got swords around you. You see the canal is sort of lit dimly by these torches on the walls, guttering in their brackets. The electroplasmic engine is starting to sputter. You're around at them. The rapier is out, and we see for the first moment that we have ever seen Aldo wielding this rapier in battle. A couple of these guys come forward with these wider swords, and the rapier just switches off of all of these guys' weapons, dodging 3 different people as they're all fighting. He's able to get a really nice shot and strike and strikes at the femoral artery of one of the men, who sort of staggers backward, blood pouring down his pant leg. Yeah, go.
Can it also, I mean, yes, a shot would be fine if it was the artery and then the dagger. It's the dagger with the barrels on it, 2 barrels, and I just want to blow him in the head.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're gonna let this man die on a double 6, let it be this way.
Yeah. So he's not going to die because you've got a group against you, so it's reduced effect again. Because I'm an asshole.
Okay.
But the artery's gone. He's got blood trickling down him, and the shot rings out and blows him back. He is like essentially dead, but still standing there holding his sword. And as Aldo stands there, eyes gleaming, looking at these 3 men around him, and Kyathel is starting to stand up behind him, we jump to Alistair and Hix, who have just stepped out into the darkness of the ballroom. What's your plan?
We need to wake up all of the people who've been trafficked.
Yes.
I've just got my lantern straight about. I guess I'm looking for people who seem to have been drugged.
Can I flashback something that Alistair wouldn't have done, but that could be a crew plan, or discuss a crew plan?
Please do, Alistair. Please do.
I just think now might be a good time for everyone to have a supply of Aldo's edge and blood needle combination, kind of. Just everyone has a couple of syringes. of those.
To wake up
I mean, I'm
these
down.
sleeping people.
But it's a mechanical
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? Isn't it that like the leech mechanically has a bandolier of chems? Or Ted, can we use part of our load for that? Is that allowed?
Yeah, I think you could use 1 square of load for 3 uses of it that we could have that have been prepared in advance.
Cool.
Yeah. I think 1 person should take a stress for having prepared all that, which probably should be Aldo, but however you want to
Okay,
slice it.
I'll do it. And so what are you ordering? What do you want?
Getting a bunch of edge and blood needle to wake up these sleeping people.
Ooh, that blood needle juice will make them feel funny about ghosts. Wake them up in the ghost field, baby.
Maybe just some edge. I'm not fucking with your
Maybe.
experimental drugs. I'm not like, give me the experimental one that taps you into the ghost field. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sure. I took a stress.
Thanks, Alds.
You got it.
Thank you, Aldo.
You got it.
All right.
Great.
Um,
Do we use
guess-
it? Do we use it, Alistair? Is that what you think?
yeah, I would try, if you've got your hooded lantern out, to can I hunt for people with flowers?
I will
Yes,
aid.
absolutely. Yeah.
There's A6.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, you see, so the light of the lantern, maybe Hix is sort of muffling it just a little bit, but it's enough that a few people around you start to murmur like, "Oh, the lights have gone on. There shouldn't be any light going on. What's going on?" And they're coming close, and there's all these Duskfall ballet girls in their full ballet garb, or these hooded garbs, and you see them all sort of leaning on their host, but you also see about half of them are already gone. And you see that the food has been left behind, but the ones you're getting here, there's these men who are sort of looking around nervously, and as the light comes over, you see them sort of looking skittishly, like they're looking for a window that they might be able to leave during. But you were able to stab the syringe into a couple of them, and one of the men says, "Now see here," and starts to reach into his belt for some weapon.
Don't do that, sir. You need to stop. I'm going to produce my gun and I will command him.
Right.
It's really not worth dying over tonight. That's a 6. Whatever tier this person is.
Yeah. No, he looks at you and sort of lifts his hands. One of the other men starts to sprint off, sort of clattering, and falls on the ground as he trips over his own clothes. The customers, the recipients of these trafficked people, and as the two of you start getting a hold of all of these, there are other figures that start coming close near you. One of them is a tall, dark-skinned woman with a very scarred face who says, "Well done, Alistair. Looks like your operation is a success." And this is Grace Meacham,
Grace!
second in command of the inspectors.
Partial success.
We'll see what we can do. We've got more downstairs. And then Bram, Aldo, and the girl, you see this blaring floodlight as a boat is approaching from the other side, and gunfire strikes the deck of the collective ship. Silas Ward is at the head of a boat, hurrying quickly towards the collective. He leaps off the boat as it's about 12 feet away, and with his momentum lands on the deck besides Aldo, unsheathes his sword, and we'll end our session for tonight.
Wait!
Oh, Silas!
How pretty is he? How
Demon
pretty?
bastard.
Oh
How
boy.
pretty is he?
And he's only 26, they say.
Wow! Played by Errol Flynn.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, thanks all for going a little bit longer with us tonight. Yeah, that was a cool score. A little complicated. Thanks for all for following along with all of that. But we're very excited to continue the story next week, finish the score, and move on with the rest of our narrative. Are there any announcements from Ghostlight that we should give to anybody, Graham?
We will be announcing 2 new shows coming up. I don't think we've announced them yet. One of them involves some turtles, which are mutant and teenaged.
I like
And
turtles.
another involves a really cool indie role-playing game, but we will make those announcements when they are ready. But yeah, we've got some cool stuff on the horizon. We're still just like trying to schedule a bunch of stuff, and also summers are like the time when everybody's schedule gets a little bit wild. So we'll hopefully have some announcements out in the next week. But keep tuning in to Contraband, and feel free to check out our Discord, which is now open to the public. I wonder if we have a command for that. Let's find out.
Join us.
The public. Oh.
Nope.
Does not look
Let
like
me.
it.
No, it requires everyone to do it, right? No, I'm just kidding.
I'll post our Discord invite link. Come hang out with us. We talk RPGs. Today we had a rousing discussion about player-driven versus like pre-written TTRPG campaigns, and different opinions on that. So come join us for some fun times. I'll post that link right now. I have finished vamping, and here it is.
The vamp is finished.
Thank you all so much.
I think we're gonna head off to a raid. We're gonna be raiding. It looks like that D'Angelo. Is that right, Carson?
Yeah,
Correct.
D'Angelo, who is currently
Amazing.
kickstarting the Emerald Templars role-playing game. Very cool Twitch creator and
Whoa,
friend of the channel.
sweet. Amazing. Fantastic. Well, thank you all for tuning in for this score. Thanks for being a part of this wild thing. So excited to be back next week, and we'll be closing up. This season will be ending sometime in the next 3 sessions or so. We'll see. So anyway, we're looking forward to the next steps, and we'll see you all next week.